resources available with you, but our point of time there are no resources available for us. Okay, so what parents tells us we generally used to do. But yes, I had some kind of strong feelings about what I have to do in my life, but it's a different story. Now the point is, if you look at 1992, look at the what I have done was I asked my father to give me some resources so that I can understand about this exam. Since he is a lecturer in a degree college there, he brought all those magazines related to competitive examinations, civil services especially. There was one magazine called as Competition Success Review, CSR. Even today it's running. But people don't use for civil services. Some other competitive examination people use that. Okay. But at that point of time, every civil services aspirant, when even I started my preparation in 97 also, I've gone with that book itself to begin with. Later on, so many magazines have come. But the point I wanted to make here is that 1992, when I analyzed those CSR issues and then analyzed those people who cracked the examination, in 1992, I'm talking about, okay. CSR used to give details of all the rankers and their interviews as well. So they have a questionnaire, a standard questionnaire. That questionnaire they send to all these rankers, okay. And based on the replies these rankers give, they publish their photograph and the rankers details in the CSR. These days we have all electronic media, right? Okay, so we can just dial them and then ask them whatever their details. Okay, but earlier days it was not. They have to write a letter. They have the enveloping letter, written reply letter, all those things put together in one cover. Okay, and they used to send it. But anyway, whatever. My analysis of all those rankers came out to be something like this. So in 1992, out of top 20 rankers, civil services rankers, 18 were engineers, 1-8. Striking feature, right? We don't even expect this kind of a phenomena to happen. In 1992 itself it happened. 1992, top 20, 18 were engineers, 1 MBBS doctor, 1 from humanities. Okay? It was a surprising moment for me as well. And then I have gone a little bit deeper. What were their optional subjects? Okay? The optional subjects were all sciences. Sciences means all engineering and sciences. Mathematics, physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, civil engineering. Okay, these were the optionals. Okay, the MBBS doctor also has taken one of the optional subjects as his background, which is not MBBS, botany or zoology or something else. Okay, all in a second ranker, his options were mathematics and physics. Okay, I have gone a little bit deeper. I looked for his marks actually. In one of the questions it was mentioned. In fact, that came in the next episode, next article, next issue, wherein he got 540 marks out of 600 in optional mathematics. Now these days, I don't know how many of you are aware of prelims, mains and interview. I believe everyone is aware of this, right? I don't expect you guys to learn all these things from me now. Okay, prelims, there are 2 papers, MCQs, mains, you have more number of papers, each paper, 250 marks, right, each paper, right. At my point of time, it used to be 300 marks for each of the paper, 300 plus 300, 2 papers in optional, so it used to be 600. Out of 600, he got 540 marks, 540 out of 600 in just one optional subject. Can you imagine the 90%? And the interview question was, because it came in the next issue, how can you lose that 60 marks? If you are able to get 540, why did you lose that 60 marks? Okay, the answer that guy has given was, there is nothing like I did not lose any marks actually. There is something called as scaling. You understand what is called scaling? I mean, I don't know how many of you heard about scaling. Mathematics people talk a lot of scaling parameters, factors kind of thing. So there is something called scaling, wherein since we get very high marks in one of the optional subjects, UPSC reduces those marks by a factor called a scaling factor or normalization factor, and it was 0.9. So whatever his score he got, it is multiplied with 0.9. So 10% is reduced, 0.9 means is not 1.0, so 10% got reduced. All these things, if you are not aware of the numbers and multiplications, you will learn anyway in CSAT, arithmetic and reasoning part. Anyway, so having seen all these things, and I told my father, Dad, this is, you are asking me to go for BCom and then CA and then become, my father is anyway a commerce lecturer, so obviously wanted his son to take BCom and then maybe MCom and then CA, Chartered Accountancy, and then go for civil services. And I told him, if you go in this line, there is no one who got into service. It has to be engineering only. There is no other way out. Because 18 people out of 20 are engineers. We don't know rest of the ranks. See, magazine does not give all the ranks, right? Who all those 1,000 candidates, they don't give us. What they do, obviously, did not go with higher circulation. They go with the toppers only, not everyone, right? So what I got is only 20 for top 20 rankers only. Whatever. My father told me like, okay, Srikanth, then what to do? I have to go with engineering. There is no other way out. Since I have already done my MPC, so I have gone for 1 year of MSET coaching. We used to have MSET, of course, today also we have it. We used to have very less number of seats, 5,000 seats only. Now we have lakhs of seats, a different thing. Private colleges and all those stuff. 5,000 seats, so I have to go for MSET, 1 year long-term coaching, and then cracked MSET with 210 rank and then got into engineering just for the sake of getting into civil services. What I am trying to tell you is that, of course, I started little early. At +2 level itself, I decided where to go, right? That was possible at that moment, but today it's not the scenario. It's not the scenario that, yes, top 20, if you see, we have all categories there. Engineers are there, and then doctors are there, law professionals are there, and then BAs are there, BComs are there, CAs are there. Everyone is there in the top 20. Today, the feature is a different story because the things have changed in UPSC over a period of time. In all these 3 decades of time, there are so many changes that happened. Syllabus itself has changed and the pattern of examination has changed. There is something called CSAT has come into picture in 2010. Of course, in 2011 exam it has come. Okay, in 2010 November and December that they have given like, they have announced, the Department of Personnel and Training has announced, not UPSC, Department of Personnel and Training has announced that there will be a new system called as CSAT. Earlier this entire CSAT except for the English part used to be in GS paper only. General studies paper. Now it has been separated, whatever. Okay. Now the point I am trying to make is, you guys, when compared to any other students, you started little early for next year preparation. You are writing 2024, right? That's the plan. Okay. Generally, people start 1 year ahead. Suppose 2024, the exam is in the month of May end or June first week, suppose. 1 year prior to that, maybe in the month of May or June, people start preparation for civil services. Okay? You are actually starting little bit ahead of them. Now, this is the advantage that you have when compared to any other one. Time is the advantage. In this preparation, it is time which is more important. Now, we generally start, earlier we used to start batches in the month of June only. The first batch every year we start in the month of June. June and then July, August, September, October. There were batches in December as well. We start batches in December also. Okay. For those people who will be writing very next year, imagine how much time they will be having. Very, 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 very high level of paucity of time they have. It doesn't mean that you have plenty of time, I am telling you. Those people who start 2023 December, they have definitely their lack of time. Now you are starting in the month of February itself. Doesn't mean that you have plenty of time. No, not at all. Okay. You have sufficient or enough time exactly required to crack this examination in the first attempt. Provided you use this entire time in a very, 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 very productive fashion. If we assume that you have plenty of time, more than the time required to crack this examination, you are in a complete big assumption or you are in dreams. No, no, it's not at all. The moment that you think of preparing for this examination, that is the moment that you have to be very, very serious for this preparation. The day when you start your preparation, you have to be very, very, very strategic in your preparation. The moment that you think of the preparation, then you should start looking for what is that? What is that I have to prepare? No, I am not talking about that. What is that UPSC wants you to prepare? What you have to prepare? Yes, everyone tells go to internet. How to prepare for civil sir, what to prepare for civil sir. So there are plenty and plenty and plenty of resources available. That's not what is required to prepare. What is required to prepare? What UPSC wants you to prepare. That is something which you identify from day one onwards. To crack this examination, what else is required? Is it just the learnings that is required? The learning, keep on accumulating lot of information feeding here. Is that sufficient? Or what else is required for this? That is something which you have to know from day one onwards. For that reason that we have session today. The session is exclusively meant for, as far as my thing is concerned, my workshop is concerned, that I want you guys to understand what is that is required for this examination apart from actual learnings that is required. Learnings anyway is required, everyone has to learn. Throughout India, suppose assuming that there are 10 or 11 lakh people who apply for this examination, less than 50% of them actually appear for prelims examination. Okay, less than 50% actually appear, not even 50% appear, less than 50% appear for the examination. Okay, and assuming that 50% appear, suppose also, okay, out of which very few people, 1 is to 12 and a half, 12 and a half in the ratio of 1 is to 12 and a half or 13 will qualify prelims examination, will write mains examination, of which nearly 1 is to 2 and a half or 1 is to 3 people would be attempting their personality test, the interview component. Right now it's going on, interviews are going on, okay, and the final selection would be that one. This year luckily you have, of course not for you guys, those who are writing 2023 examination, if you have seen the notification, it's a huge jumbo notification, it's a huge one. For the past so many years we haven't seen that notification. Nearly 300, 1300 plus? 1100? 1100, okay. So I have never seen at least. You know, when I was going for interviews, you know what are the total number of posts? 240, 260, and it used to be 1 is to 2. Exactly 1 is to 2 ratio used to be the interview selection. That means nearly, when I went to interview, I was in the top 500 in India, obviously. 1 is to 2 ratio when you have 240 posts, but still not got selected. That's the pathetic situation. But today it's not like that. Today have so many posts are available. Okay. Now they are taking interview also, they are taking 1 is to 2 and a half to 1 is to 3. Okay. So it's plenty of opportunity today when compared to my time. My time was the lowest, we call it an others. Okay. It's not peaks, the lowest one, the next one, the valleys one. Okay. So that's where the number of posts at that point of time, because of so many global conditions and so many reasons, a different story. But as far as you guys are concerned, the day one you start your preparation, the day one onwards, your strategic preparation has to start. It's not just that people start asking you to purchase NCERT books and start reading NCERT books. Yes, good, NCERT books are very good. You have to start with them. Nothing wrong with that. But how to read that NCERT? Just read NCERT or what? People say read NCERT. But how to read that NCERT? As good as you are reading a novel? Or as good as you are reading a textbook? Or how you have to read that NCERT? You have to read that NCERT also according to the way UPSC is asking questions again. Is it or not? That's how you have to start your preparation. That you have to understand day one onwards. Okay? That's what this session is meant for. I will let you know like what is that is important for this exam. But anyway, before going further, just tell me like you might be having certain expectations of this session. Just let me know that expectations. Telugu వాళ్ళేనందరూ? తెలుగు రాని వాళ్ళు ఎవరైనా ఉన్నారా? లేరు కదా? Okay. And the session is not for Telugu basically. Okay. Anyway, you tell me whatever your expectations are. I will just write down here. ఏం లేవా? బ్లాంక్ వచ్చాము, వైట్ పేపర్ తీసుకొని వచ్చామన్నా. It should be something కదా? చెప్పండి పర్లేదు, ఎనీథింగ్, ఇట్ కెన్ బి ఎనీథింగ్. UPSC expectations. Okay. నా రైటింగ్ కలిపి రైటింగ్ ఉంటుంది, ట్రై చేయండి అర్థం చేసుకోవడానికి. కర్సివ్ రైటింగ్ అంటారు. ఓకే. ఒక పని చేద్దాం, ఒక్కొక్కరు ఒకటి చెప్పండి. చెప్పమ్మా. అంటే ఎక్కువ మంది ఉన్నప్పుడు ఒక్కొక్కరు అడగడం కుదరదు, గుంపులు అడిగేస్తాం అది. ఇప్పుడు తక్కువ మంది ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి ఒక్కొక్కరిని అడుగుదాం. దట్ మేక్ సెన్స్. ఓకే, కానీ ఈ మాత్రం ఉండాలి ఎక్స్పెక్టేషన్స్. సమ్ ఆఫ్ దమ్ మైట్ బి కామన్ ఎక్స్పెక్టేషన్స్. చెప్పమ్మా, పర్లేదు చెప్పు. ఏం లేదా? ఏమన్నా పర్లేదు, అది కూర్చొని చెప్పు. సో ప్రిపరేషన్ ప్లాన్ ఆర్ స్ట్రాటజీ. ఓకే ఫైన్. ఇది చాలా మందికి ఉంటుంది కదా, మీరు ఇక్కడికి వచ్చింది ఇందుకోసం కదా. ప్రిపరేషన్ ప్లాన్ ఆర్ స్ట్రాటజీ ఆర్ హౌ టు మేక్ దట్ మేబీ, రైట్? One thing you always should know here at this moment itself, in the beginning itself, there is no one unique plan which gives you success. First point. There is nothing like there is, you go with this plan only then you will become successful. Nothing like that. Okay? Every individual will have his or her own plan. Now if you talk to successful candidates, everyone would be having their own plan. Everyone will be talking their own plan. Okay? Now what generally at this moment people like you will do is, they collect all the information from each of those plans. Collect all of them, make a big one, of which you try to create your own plan. And nothing wrong in that, but it's the biggest mistake also. Okay? A plan comes out of your maturity of thinking about civil service exam. You don't know about the examination, how does you plan it? How to plan it unless you know about the exam? What is that UPSC is expecting from you? What kind of questions UPSC will ask? I was talking about NCERT books. Okay? Everyone knows that you have to read NCERT books. Doesn't mean that everyone who has read NCERT books will be able to answer every question asked from NCERT in UPSC. అందరూ ఆన్సర్ చేయగలరా క్వశ్చన్స్? ఎన్సీఆర్టీ బుక్సేగా, అదే బుక్లో నుంచి నువ్వు చదువుతున్నావు, ఏం చదువుతున్నావు, అందరూ చదువుతున్నారు, ఇండియా మొత్తం చదువుతారు అదే ఎన్సీఆర్టీ పుస్తకం. బట్ స్టిల్ డూ యూ థింక్ లైక్ ఎవ్రీ వన్ విల్ ఏబుల్ టు ఆన్సర్ ఆల్ దోస్ క్వశ్చన్స్ asked by UPSC from the same book? Literally from the same book. No. Why? Because the way UPSC is going to ask a question, that is something which you have to understand first while reading the book or before reading the book. How do you know in this moment when you ask you to read, how does you know that? You will not be knowing that. It will take some months of time for you to understand what is that UPSC is expecting from you. Months of time it takes. I am telling you, minimum 3 months for any kind of a candidate, minimum 3 months it takes to understand what is that UPSC is expecting from you from a given topic. Without knowing that, how would you plan your strategy? Is it possible? Not possible, right? So don't think like there will be miracles that are going to happen. No miracles will happen. There are no miracles here. No magic, no miracles. No, of course surprising elements would be there in UPSC exam, but in your life there will not be any miracles unless you yourself has to do that kind of a work which is required to crack this examination. Once you crack, it's a miracle, that's it. Okay. Anyway, anything else? Yeah.
Sir, how to deal with current affairs?
Current affairs. Okay. So I'll talk about current affairs and newspapers, right? Okay. Then you were saying how to read.
Yes.
Okay. Again, everything goes back to one single point actually, right? Whatever we talk here now, from now onwards, everything crystallizes to one thing. What is that UPSC is expecting from you? Based on that, you have to read current affairs, right? But we'll see, like looking at the previous questions, I will show you them. Okay, and the slides I will show you them. We'll see some old previous questions. Okay, some latest, some old also. Why those questions were asked in UPSC? Why in that year those questions were asked? Why not some other year those questions should have been asked some other year? Why only that year those questions were asked? Something related to the current affairs or newspapers that you are supposed to read along with the regular content, right? We'll discuss that. Yeah.
Sir, NCERTs before coaching or NCERTs with coaching or NCERTs after coaching?
All about NCERTs. Okay. Okay, let me answer it directly. okay, before going for the next ones. See, NCERTs are something which you have to read, not that at any cost. If you read, well and good. If you don't read, also well and good. Nothing wrong. Because at my point of time, it so happened that NCERTs are the basic foundations. There were no books available in the market which are beyond NCERT, which can give you foundation. But today we have so many other books also, right? Anyway, but still, some of the NCERT books are really beautiful books. You have to read them. Because of the reason that these NCERT books are meant for school going children, right? So, with their maturity level, with their thought process, what kind of inputs, the way we have to explain to that kind of a student, in that fashion these NCERT books explain you the concepts, okay. So, that is something which is important initial days for us, right. Once you read NCERT books, you should not be reading those NCERTs again. That is how it should be. So, you prepare notes out of it, or maybe your diagrams or mental maps or whatever people call different names. Okay, finally it's your notes. Once you prepare that notes, leave that NCERTs. This is the notes which is going to give you the basic foundation. That's it. That is useful only for you, not for everyone, because you prepared that notes, right? That's how it should be, right? And NCERTs are important. Not every NCERT is important. If you go to any market, here there are so many bookstalls are there. If you go to that bookstalls and ask them like, give me NCERT books which I want to purchase, he'll give you a bunch. Okay, of course he wanted to sell, there is nothing wrong from his side. But you also feel, wow, so many books. You feel like if I read these books, I will become IAS. No way, no way. First thing, all these are not required for this exam. You are wasting your money, you are wasting your time if at all you read these books. It also means that you don't have a strategy at all, the way she is asking me. You don't have any plan, you don't have any strategy of how to prepare for this examination. Therefore, you have purchased all these things, therefore you are trying to read all these things. Wrong. There are few NCERT books which are important, which will give you, don't worry. Okay, we have some small NCERT course as well. Okay, right? Number one. Number two. Once you read that NCERT, you don't need to repeatedly read those NCERT books till the time you prepare your notes. While preparing notes, first time reading you cannot prepare notes. First read it so that you will get the overall glance of the entire what is being discussed in the NCERT book. Second time when you read little bit thoroughly, slowly, thoroughly, and then start preparing your notes. Suppose geography you are reading, then go with the maps, point out whatever is discussed in the text, you have to point out that in the map, you have to draw there in the map. Suppose a river courses from west to east, suppose you draw it from west to east and write there what is the name of that river. Are you getting that? So like that, if you do on your own, of course all these things are given in the map itself, in the textbook itself, but you draw it. Instead of they already have drawn it and given it to you, you draw it. That is something which if you do that, you can remember very easily throughout your life. Okay, maybe that tomorrow when you just look at that, the instant that you look at, you will be able to recollect whatever you have done, the work on that. Okay, that it has to be like that, right? Okay, and don't think like, yes, there might be certain fundamental questions that might be asked which would have directly come from NCERT books. Yes, every year you will get those kind of questions. Okay, doesn't mean that you have to keep on reading NCERT books. No, it's basic foundation. Beyond that, you have to learn lot many things. It doesn't mean that if you read only NCERT, then only you will crack this examination. No, I have read NCERT only for geography, nothing else. No other topic, polity, economy, history, I did not read NCERT. But still I am very good at all other areas. Better than anyone else at that point of time. I am exceptionally good at general studies at that point of time. Whatever. Okay. Not required that you have to complete. Number two. So number three. There is one misconception among students. Okay. That it so happened that some of the rankers, they keep insisting on NCERTs. What they tell is, read NCERT books in 3 months. First read NCERT books in 3 months. They give the plan to read for this 3 months also. Today you read this book, this chapter, like this, 3 months they give. Nonsense. I'm telling you, directly nonsense. Okay, don't rely on those things, because NCERT books taking a time frame of 3 months, not at all required. If you have already read NCERT books, well and good. Okay, already read NCERT books, well and good. If you have not yet read NCERT books, you can directly start your preparation parallelly reading NCERT books. Okay, for example, today we suppose in the classes, suppose you are attending coaching classes, suppose. Okay, now suppose today you attended polity class, Constitution of India, polity. Okay, in polity generally people start with preamble. Of course, every teacher starts with different things. Their own game plan would be there. Assuming that a person started with preamble. Okay, a preamble is the first page actually. Okay, in fact, the preamble would be there even in all NCERT books also. If you see that, right? We the people of India, right? Now they start explaining every term in that. Right? Socialist, sovereign, republic, right? All the terms that we have, right? Everything would be explained, so that you will understand what would be there inside the entire constitution document. Okay, good. Now preamble is there. Preamble is something which is discussed. Now what you have to do as soon as you understand preamble, regarding preamble, in NCERT books, what is discussed in that polity NCERT book? You will read a preamble, number 1. Number 2, okay, whatever is being discussed in the class, you will be taking some notes on that. You also read that notes also. Number 3, institute provides a material on that. That also you will read. Number 4, you would definitely be following one of the textbooks prescribed, right? Generally for polity, people read Lakshmikant. Okay, McGraw-Hill Publications, Lakshmikant. So you will read preamble, content given in Lakshmikant. Then this completes your learnings for the day, right? Right? Now what you have done? You attended the class, you have gone for NCERT, material, and then reference book as well. So all these things if you do on daily basis, your learnings would be complete on that. That's not sufficient again. The learnings, you have extra learnings also. What are those extra learnings? This is about what is there in the preamble. But what is that UPSC is expecting from you in preamble? You should know that also, right? This is part of civil service preparation, right? In that context, what you have to do, you have to refer to previous question papers. Refer to previous question papers and see what are all those questions that were asked on preamble. Read them. See, most of the times it so happens that UPSC does not ask direct question on preamble only. It will interlink some other topics. It will interlink preamble and fundamental rights, or maybe preamble and then fundamental duties, or preamble and directive principles of state policy, or preamble and something else. Okay? Now that something else you don't know, right? Fundamental rights, fundamental duties, directive principles, or what something else I am talking, you don't know. You know right now only preamble. At least you will come to know that preamble, it is going to be interlinked with so many other topics later on, right? When that topic comes into picture, suppose fundamental rights is discussed later on, and dealing with fundamental rights, you can go back and see what was the question related to preamble and the fundamental rights that was already asked in UPSC examination. Now you should be able to answer that question, right? So you should understand from day 1 onwards, what is that UPSC is expecting from whatever we are learning today. This has to be done on daily basis. It also means that you have to refer to previous questions on daily basis. Are you getting that? So I'll come back to this context that I'm talking right now. It is already incorporated in my small workshop. Okay, so I'll be putting that in there, and we'll discuss some questions as well in that. Right? So NCERTs are important. Doesn't mean that it is only NCERTs which are important. Without NCERT, nothing will happen. No, pre or post or along with, no. It can be anything. But the moment you think of preparing for this examination, you have to start your preparation immediately. That's it. Your preparation starts with a strategic preparation, not with just like that preparation. People say that, no, first read NCERT books, after that you can do anything. If you have time for that, yes, you can do that. If you don't have time for example, someone who came in the month of November, December, suppose, complete NCERT and then start preparing for the examination, is it possible? It's time. You guys has time. Definitely you guys has time. But I don't think so. You should first complete NCERT and then start, because anyway, even though you are reading NCERT books, you have to look at the UPSC way of asking questions, and you should know how to answer them also. That is something which you cannot read and then get them. It should be taught by someone else. Just reading NCERT doesn't make lot of difference for you. That is the reason why what we have done is, for NCERT, instead of going directly with NCERT, suppose polity is there, constitution. So what we do, some 30 hours we earmark for core polity or basics of polity. What is this basics of polity? In the polity, even if you wrote NCERT books also, you did not read NCERT books also, but still, what are all those things that you should know as far as our exam is concerned in polity? The terminology, for example, preamble, directive principles, I am talking, fundamental rights, what are different fundamental rights that we have, who is a president, who is prime minister, who are MLAs, who are MPs, who are ministers, what is a cabinet, what is rule of law, what is judiciary system, what is parliament there, okay, and then what is election commission, what are schedules, understand, so many things are there. You should know what is what first of all. Once you understand this core of this concept, basic concept of this polity, now a teacher comes, a polity actual teacher comes, another teacher comes who actually teaches only civil services polity. He doesn't deal with what is parliament, what is judiciary. He will directly deal with the way UPSC asks questions, the way you are supposed to answer a UPSC kind of a question. He goes directly to that analysis oriented kind of things. Then it becomes easy for you to understand. If directly a teacher goes to UPSC way of teaching, then what happens? You don't know the basics, therefore you feel the trouble. Then you require that NCERT, that's what people say. So what we have done is that we have incorporated in such a way that the NCERT is already imbibed in the initial days of your classes, so that the further classes that a teacher comes for UPSC kind of civil services kind of examination, that becomes very easy for you. Same thing, economy, core economy. Okay, of course, geography you don't require core geography, and history there is nothing like core history. Okay, because that's a story basically. You keep on understanding the story in history, you will keep on, the way teacher explains the story is something which is important. The narration is important there. Okay, anyway, that's what about NCERT is. Okay, yeah, your thing. Right, okay, fine. Anything else along with that? And వచ్చేసినాయా? One rule. This is my rule. Again, it's a rule of a toppers. Again, okay. The rule is that refer one book 10 times instead of referring 10 books on the same topic. That's what it means. For example, polity. Refer one book, either Lakshmikant or D.D. Basu or who is that other one? Who is that other one? Paila. Okay. Instead of referring all these books on polity, refer any one of the book, but multiple times. Antena? That's the rule. Ante general cheyamana pani. Do you know what happens? I will tell you what happens. Suppose the class teacher told you to refer D.D. Basu. So you purchased D.D. Basu and you are reading D.D. Basu. You found it a little bit difficult to read D.D. Basu, but still you are reading. You have that motivation to become IAS, therefore you are reading that book. Now what happens? You stay in a hostel. Okay. Now adjoining to you, your friend is there who is going to some other institute, or he told you in their class they told about Lakshmikant. He is reading Lakshmikant. He felt easy to read Lakshmikant. Okay. Now you felt like, Arey, Lakshmikant is very easy to read. I will also shift to that book. Oh, no, that's natural tendency. Okay. And you will be facing this one, I am telling you. Everyone will face. Okay. Now after some time you feel that Lakshmikant is very big one, very huge one. Though it is easy to read, there are so many mistakes in that book, which I don't know also. Because when I answer certain questions in certain tests, I am getting wrong answers. Though they are told like Lakshmikant has given right answer for that, but still I am confused. Now you will be referring to some other book again. This is how people shift books. It's not because of you, it is because of your peers. Okay, but of course for polity everyone reads Srikanth is a different thing. Okay, my suggestion for you guys is when teacher tells you to read one book in class, stick on to that, irrespective of what others talk about it. You should have confidence on yourself and your teacher and your preparation, your game plan, your strategy. If yourself doesn't have that confidence on yourself, how do you become IAS now? Just imagine throughout India so much of competition, so much of toughness in this preparation. How would you get into these services? Crossing all these guys. Okay? Anyway. Okay? It's answered. Okay? Yeah.
UPSC strategic way of asking questions.
Right. Okay. Good. Anything else apart from this so that I can start my this thing? Right? Apart from these things, you have anything additionally? Notes making. Yeah. Good. Notes making. Yeah. Another point. I will discuss that. Yeah. Answer writing. Okay. It comes out of practice anyway, but anyway, that is something which is important. Note making is important, answer writing anyway is important. Okay, yeah. Anything else apart from this? How to overcome fear of examination? Okay, that should be a one-to-one one actually. It cannot be, right? Fear of examination, everyone has that. It's not just you or someone else. Everyone has that fear of exam. But there is some people who has got more fear of exam. Okay, I'll tell you one simple. Since you asked this one, generally I don't discuss this. In fact, my optionals were mathematics and psychology. Two different varieties of subjects actually altogether. Okay, two extremes, right? Okay, anyway. So generally whatever I deal mostly completely analytically in terms of mathematics. Okay, I include everything that maths into my way of thinking. Okay, but again the psychology is something which is part of it as far as I am concerned. But anyway, since you asked the question, it is like this. Suppose you understand maps, right? X-axis, Y-axis. Suppose if I talk about stress levels, suppose in the X-axis stress is increasing. Zero stress, slowly stress is increasing. Okay. Now in Y-axis I talk about performance. Performance means your efficiency of understanding or performing what you are supposed to do. Suppose for example, you are on a stage, you are performing something, okay, your performance there. Or you went to an examination hall, you are writing answers, that also is a performance, okay. So any actions that you do is a performance, okay, and effectiveness of that performance is something which you are looking for. Now what it happens is, it goes like this. It goes like this, always, for everyone. Every human being is the story. Zero stress. Stress also is somewhere related to your pressure actually. For example, zero stress, performance is zero. Why zero? Because you don't have even motivation to write your exam. You went to examination hall, some motivation is there for you, right? Okay, fine. In the examination hall, you don't have even motivation to write the examination. So where will be your performance? Your performance is zero. But as and when you have that stress levels increasing, as and when you have the pressure levels slowly increasing, as and when your motivation levels slowly increasing, your performance also slowly increases. And the performance comes to certain level, that would be the maximum performance possible for any person. Every individual has his or her own performance levels. Okay, but it needs to have some pressure. Without pressure, you cannot perform. If there is no pressure, there is no performance. Sometimes the pressure itself is to perform better. Okay, without pressure, you cannot have better performance. Now, if the stress levels crosses beyond certain limit, then comes down your performance levels. Your performance levels always come down if the stress levels or the pressure levels cross certain limit. So the best performance will always be there here. When I talk about this one, which actually improves your performance, we call it as U stress center. Then EU and general good thing another. Euphoria. It's a good thing. Okay. When the stress levels increases beyond this one, beyond this limit, we call it as a distress center. Distress. Double S unnagada okay segada. Right? Distress. Okay. General dis and general add chesinapudu general it dilutes everything. Okay. Distribution dilution. Right? Okay. Disturbance. Okay. These are root words generally. Anyway. So this is something which is important. To some extent, though Eustress is always good, but Eustress also to some extent till here, it's not giving best performance. So you need to increase your performance levels means that you need to increase your stress levels. You need to increase your motivation levels. You need to increase the pressure levels. Okay. But if you start increasing that, there is a possibility that it drops down, it may drop beyond certain limit. But if the stress levels crosses this one, you're gone. You're gone already. That's how it would be. So stress is important for a better performance. Without stress, you cannot. But for some people, it crosses beyond this one. It crosses beyond this one. That's where your performance comes down. That's the fear of failure. We call it as fear of failure there. Okay, you have the fear that you are going to fail. That is something which keeps on working in your mind, which actually results in distress. And that obviously takes your performance very much below the capabilities that you have. That generally happens. That's not. In fact, this is something which can be tackled in civil services kind of preparation very easily. But only thing is, you have to have a kind of regular and periodic counseling sessions. Counseling doesn't mean that there's big things that are going to happen in the counseling. It's just that you try to ventilate your things. Okay. What is that is making you to go for distress instead of eustress? Eustress is something. If you're in eustress, you always feel better always. When it's going to distress, the feeling, though sometimes the performance is good in distress also initially, but later on the performance will be very, very, very much minimal. Okay, so we should not go into that band of lowest performances in the distress levels. And eustress, yes, initial eustress, you don't have that enough motivation to perform itself. You know, what anyone can do then? You don't want to write an exam. For example, someone who just completed their graduation, just applied civil service examination for the sake of applying examination. He wanted to see what happens there in the examination hall. So going inside, what happens? I have done that. 97 when I completed my engineering. So my father told, Srikanth, you apply and see what happens there. I don't know syllabus also at that point of time. To be frank, 4 years I did not do in my engineering, I did not prepare anything. Though I am supposed to prepare. I joined engineering only for the sake of civil services, but still, that 4 years I did not do anything. I should have at least read NCERT books, which also I did not do. Okay? But anyway, whatever happened is happened. Okay? Now, 97 when I went to examination hall, I was just looking at everyone and seeing the question paper as if I am trying to answer the questions, but I did not understand anything except 1 or 2 questions. Of course, all arithmetic and basic level of things I have done. But what about the rest of the things? I don't know anything about constitution, right? then how would I answer? I started applying my logic and started answering the questions. But that's okay. That is all about, you don't know anything, therefore you have to pass sometime, you will be doing something there in examination hall. Okay, that's not important, right? So that is something which you will be doing in the initial levels of eustress. Therefore the performance will not be so good. Okay, but if you have more stress, I have to perform very well, then what you will do, you will be preparing for that examination. Now you feel like, if the stress levels are more, I am not performing well, then try to decrease the stress level. How do you decrease? You practice that. How to practice that? You write so many exams. So many practice sessions are there for that. Okay, anyway, now let us open this one. Sorry. Okay. I just don't wanted to keep some bombastic language in this one to frighten you from what is this examination all about. I just wanted to keep it very simple. Okay. Now, if it comes to civil services exam, the preparation is something which is very important as far as you guys are concerned, because you are in the beginning stages. So, what is more important for this is the learnings. Everyone knows this. How do you learn? You collect a lot of material. Okay. Again, one thing which I suggest you guys in the beginning stages itself, reference books, learnings. We talk about reference books. What are these reference books? Polity, what are the reference books? Economy reference books, geography reference book, history reference book, social issues, and then security issues, ecology and biodiversity, current affairs, international relations, okay, blah, 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 blah. Different rankers give different reference books. So what are the latest toppers? 10 toppers or 20 toppers, you take the reference books and collect them, and then take the unique set out of all this, out of it, what are those best things that you feel are the best. You prepare your own reference books list now itself. Trash. Completely wrong. Not required. You don't need to prepare now what should be the reference books list. Not required at all. Why you should, without understanding what exactly is the UPSC requirement, why would you directly purchase all the books and then start reading the books without knowing what to read, how to read? You don't know anything. How do you do that? What's the purpose of purchasing the book when you are not able to read it properly, right? So don't go in a hurry to purchase all the books at a time. Generally, you will have a tendency, let me prepare my own mini library. That you can, that anyway, after 1 year it becomes on its own. It becomes a mini library on its own. You don't need to purposefully create a mini library. By default, it becomes a mini library. Okay, everyone prepares their own mini libraries. Okay, so don't look for the list of all those reference books are required to prepare for this examination. Not required at all. When you start something, polity started, suppose you start purchasing a reference book for polity and complete it. When another topic starts, you go with that one. So whenever a topic starts, you start purchasing that book and then prepare. Or else maybe before starting that topic, maybe 1 week before that, you get ready with your book. Are you getting that? That's how you have to prepare. Slowly you increase that. How to increase that? Books you read, you keep it there. Not the fresh looking books in your library. Because I have done that, my friends have done that, my students, most of them also have done that. It doesn't make any sense. You just keep on purchasing all the new books, fresh books, never opened books, piling up there. Useless. You are not creating library there. No. You are creating a mini library wherein you have read every book of it. Every book of it you should have read it. That is the kind of library that you have to create. Okay. Now, let us come back to this one. Learnings. So the learnings always starts with two things always. Okay. These two things are what to read, also includes what not to read. The reason is very simple. these two things, this is true for any kind of a competitive examination, not very competitive, any kind of exam for that matter. So, what to read and what not to read. Generally, if you look at civil services kind of examination, what to read is a simple one, what not to read is a big one. It looks like search something in Google. What you actually require will be very few number of documents, few links. What is not required by you, big ocean you will get, right? That's how it would be. So, what is important for this examination, what is not important for this examination? I will give a very small example here. There is one topic in your mains exam called as post-independent developments. I don't know how many of you understand post-independent developments. Post-independent developments since 1947 till today, the latest, the day the question paper is created, okay, till today, what are all those developments that happened in India with respect to India, post-independent India, okay, what are all those developments that happened after independence in terms of political sphere or economic sphere or cultural sphere or maybe society sphere, okay, or maybe science and technology sphere or maybe international relations or India's interaction with the world. Whatever kind of relations that you talk about, whatever kind of developments that you talk about, all those developments in India since 1947. Getting that as one topic in your mains exam. Okay, very, very beautiful topic, extraordinary topic. Okay, now the point is, there were so many books that were written, but out of one book which is very important is India After Independence. There is one book, huge book, India After Independence. Okay, let me not comment on that, but what I want to tell you in this one and in this context is that, because I want to differentiate between what to read, what not to read here, right? The book is perfectly matching with our syllabus, right? Post-independent developments in India, India after independence. Okay. Now what happens? That book, the author, what he has done was, he explained so many things, very, very beautiful chapters. I will tell you one chapter. What is that chapter? The chapter is all about, it's about author himself. His thought process goes like this. Had Indira Gandhi not been assassinated, Indira Gandhi was assassinated, right? Everyone knows it, by her bodyguards, right? The context is, had Indira Gandhi not been assassinated, Rajiv Gandhi would not have become Prime Minister of India. Everyone knows the story, right? Indira Gandhi assassinated, her son Rajiv Gandhi had become Prime Minister of India, right? So, had Indira Gandhi not been assassinated, it's a completely an assumption. It's a virtual story that he started thinking in those lines. What would have happened had Indira Gandhi not been assassinated? Okay, Rajiv Gandhi would not have become Prime Minister of India. Now, continuation of that. Had Rajiv Gandhi not become Prime Minister of India, there would not be a scenario where India would have created IPKF, Indian Peacekeeping Force, to go to Sri Lanka and fight with the rebels there. So, Rajiv Gandhi created a IPKF, Indian Peacekeeping Force. Those are the people who from India went to Sri Lanka to fight who are the terrorists. People call them as terrorists, but they are actually activists there. Okay, whatever. LTT, we will call it as LTT. Okay, and then what happened? Had Rajiv Gandhi would not have become Prime Minister of India, he would not have created IPKF, which went to Sri Lanka. Had IPKF not been there, Rajiv Gandhi would not have been assassinated. Because of IPKF in Sri Lanka, okay, LTTE people assassinated Rajiv Gandhi. What is this all? This is all a fictitious scenario which never happened. And he dedicated his thought process. What would have happened to India had all these not been happened? This is a thought process which is there as part of the author's thought process, Do you think that is relevant to our civil service exam? In what way it is relevant to our that's what. It's not about a book. In that book also what to read, what not to read, you should know it. Are you getting my point? Clear? So what to read, what not to read are two very important things that you should know here. And both of these, they're actually, you can see from syllabus. Syllabus is something which we can tell you. So always carry syllabus with you. I think you would have been given a kit kind of a thing where you have a book also in that, which is information bulletin kind of, in which you have syllabus. Okay? Always carry syllabus with you. Always look at the syllabus on daily basis. When you're reading something, suppose something is taught in the class, suppose preamble is taught. Let us take the same example of preamble. If preamble is taught in the class, now see whether preamble is part of your syllabus or not. If it is not part of your syllabus, what's the point in attending that class, or what's the point in reading that? What is the point in spending some time on that? Don't waste your time. You should know it clearly. Okay? The day one you start your preparation, you should know what to read, what not to read, both of them. Both of them actually come from your syllabus. Clear? Already explained with taking an example as well. Okay? Now let us go to next part, which is how to read something. How to read. How to read. How do you know how to read? Again, this is something which UPSC tells you. Look at the previous question papers. Look at the previous questions. You have to look at the previous questions related to prelims examination, MCQs, as well as mains examination. Both of them. You have to see both of them. Prelims examination and mains examination. Okay. Now, these question papers, if you see, for example, preamble again. Let us come back to preamble. The thing which I discussed earlier also today. Okay. Earlier part of this today. Okay. Now, what I mentioned, if you read preamble, you attend the class, you read NCERT, preamble in NCERT on any of the books, whatever is being prescribed to you, and then any reference book or any study material that you are going to read on preamble, that's not sufficient. That is only here. You are still here only. That's not sufficient for this examination. You have to go beyond that. What is that UPSC is expecting from us in preamble? Look at the previous questions. It can be prelims previous question or it can be mains previous question, whatever you have. Look at them, specifically preamble related previous question papers. Okay, not that every year preamble question are there, no. There might be some overall, some 5 or 10 questions of prelims or 2 or 3 questions of mains examination. Look at those preamble related questions. These days in market there are so many books are available, publishers are providing books based on subtopics itself. Entire polity they are not giving at one place. In the polity also divided into subtopics, preamble, all the previous questions, prelims as well as mains. Maybe answers also are given with that. Okay. Look at those previous questions and try to understand, yes, this is what UPSC is expecting from us. What I have read something. Try to answer previous questions. If you are able to answer previous questions, it means that yes, you are in tune with the way UPSC is expecting from you. If you are not able to answer the question, what does it mean? You are read it, but still you are not able to match the way UPSC is asking questions. So on daily basis, you have to match yourself to see where you stand when it comes to UPSC. How? Previous questions. Without previous questions, your entire preparation is useless, worthless, nonsense. You are wasting your time. Don't waste your time here. Day one, I am telling you, this has to start on day one. Even when you read NCERT books also, this has to be there. When you are reading NCERT books also, don't read NCERT books as the way a school guy is reading NCERT books or a person is reading a novel. No. Or you are reading a textbook. No. You have to read NCERT books the way you are supposed to read based on previous questions. Now on that topic, suppose you are reading ocean currents in geography, ocean currents in geography. Now what are all those previous questions in ocean currents in geography by UPSC? Look at them, look at those questions. Prelims questions as well as, if at all there are mains question general will not be there in ocean currents, but yes, prelims questions can be there. What are all those questions? Are you able to answer those questions as soon as you read this ocean currents or not? Read in those lines, read in that fashion. On daily basis you have to do that. That means on daily basis you are not just learning from the books, but you are also learning how to read from previous question papers. This is something I'm telling you, if you don't do that exercise, I'm telling you, day one I'm telling you, after 1 month I will ask you, after 2 months also I will ask you, after 1 year also I will ask you the same question. You should be able to answer this part. Are you referring to previous questions on daily basis or not? For everything you read, it might be optional subject or it might be general studies. I am least bothered about what you are reading, but is it relevant or not? If it is relevant, how it is relevant? Look at the previous questions. Getting my point? That is important. The same thing happens, you are asking about newspapers, right? Newspapers also, when you are reading newspapers also, of course, a lot many things that we need to discuss on newspapers, but apart from that, what might be a question UPSC can ask in that context, on that news item, or in that analysis that is given in the editorial of a news article? What can be UPSC's questions? How UPSC is thinking? You have to always think in terms of the way UPSC is thinking, the way UPSC is expecting from you. That is something which you have to start adopting from day one onwards. How do you get it? How do you know UPSC? Do you have any other option? You don't have any other option, right? You don't have any other option. The only thing available for you is this one. This is something which is very, very important for you guys. Syllabus anyway is important to know what to read and what not to read. That is something which you have to carry at any cost. Along with that, also carry previous year question papers which you have to refer to them on daily basis at any cost. Without which this preparation is useless. Got it? Clear on this one? Okay. Now let us look at some previous questions. Okay. What to read and what not to read, kind of. Okay. Just some sample questions. Okay. Old questions, some might be new questions also. Okay. Let me go with, for example, discuss the causes of depletion of mangroves and explain their importance in maintaining coastal ecology and biodiversity. Okay. This is part of your syllabus. How do you know this is part of your syllabus? Look at your syllabus. Your syllabus has it. The syllabus has it. Okay. Now don't think like why that year that question is asked. There might be a possibility that year something was explained regarding depletion of mangroves. There might be some discussion that happened. There might be some convention that happened in that year regarding depletion of mangroves, how to protect them. Okay. Of course, that is related to coastal ecology. Okay. Similarly, this is about history. Look at history here. Assess the role of British imperial power in complicating the process of transfer of power during 1940s. Okay, everyone knows this is part of modern history, freedom struggle part. Okay, and then everyone knows that from 1940s onwards the transfer of power started, and then 1947 we got independence. Everyone knows that. Okay, now you have to assess the role of British imperial power. So everyone thinks like what happened. No, it's not just what happened. You have to assess from your side what exactly happened or what might have happened. What happened is something which is written in the books. That's it. Okay. What should be thought process of Britishers while complicating this process of transferring? When they thought like will let us transfer the power, why didn't they transfer immediately? Why they complicated this process? What should be the thought process behind this Britishers who wanted to transfer the power but they complicated it? Why they so many years it took? 7 years it took almost. In fact, it started in 1939. Okay, but still, why it took so much of time? Okay, that is something which you have to analyze. So, I will come back to this one again. Why this kind of question? There are two types of content would be there. One is static content and other is dynamic content. Okay, history looks to be completely static content. History looks to be completely static content, but still the kind of question that was asked in 2019 was complete analysis on the static content. He is not asking what happened from 1940s. Everyone knows that. Is there already written in their books? But if you have to assess the role of British imperial power in complicating this process of transferring of the power, that is something which not everyone explains that in the books. Okay? Anyway, look at this one. This is something to do with Attorney General is the chief legal advisor and lawyer of the government of India. Discuss. These are some static kind of questions. This is a static kind of question. See, it's a static question, right? So Attorney General is there, right from the Constitution is made. Okay, and then that office of Attorney General has been created, right? And then is a kind of a static question. All these things, whatever is being given, is already mentioned in the syllabus. Look at that. Circumstances. Under what circumstances can the financial emergency be proclaimed by the President of India? There are three types of emergency. One of the emergencies is called financial emergency. Okay. So emergency generally is a very important one. So one of the emergencies can always be asked. One of them is financial emergency. Generally people neglect that financial emergency. Okay. No, it's asked. Right. So these are certain things which are directly given from the syllabus itself. Right. Now, how to read? How to read? Earlier one is from syllabus directly, right? This is how to read, right? I have just taken certain examples for both the varieties, that's it. Not that there are exclusive things, okay? Now, look at the first one, suppose. Mention core strategies for the transformation, it is 2018 question, okay. Mention core strategies for the transformation of aspirational districts in India. What are aspirational districts, if anyone knows it? No? Okay, I will tell you. Mention core strategies for the transformation of aspirational districts in India and explain the nature of convergence, collaboration and competition for its success. Why this question was asked in 2018? Because in the entire 2018 year, there was a discussion on aspirational districts which was introduced by Government of India at that point of time. Right? Now, it's just not sufficient for you to know what are these aspirational districts. So, what they have done is throughout India, so they have identified certain districts in India which they call it as aspirational districts. They are in terms of human development index, they are at very low level. What is human development index? All these things you will learn later. Okay? Yeah? Someone was commenting. Anyway, so this human development index, in terms of that, when those there are different parameters based on which people decide on what is human development index of different countries. Earlier we used to have, and then India has taken that concept to look at different states, human development index of different states. Why only we have to stop at different states? We will go at different districts as well. Okay, human developments are different. For example, education parameter as one of the parameters. Okay, and literacy as one of the parameters, and then poverty level is one of the parameters. Like in that also, each one of them we have sub parameters. Okay, like this, there are so many parameters based on which they rate different states in terms of state level development index or different districts in terms of district level of. Are you getting the rating of the district? So lowest districts are there, right? Some of the lowest lowest human development index districts. Those are the districts which Government of India is aspiring to develop those districts in terms of all these parameters. Literacy levels they want to improvise, poverty levels, and then education levels of literacy levels I said. Okay. So in terms of all these development indexes, they want to they are aspiring to develop these districts in par or maybe above the level of the regular ones. Are you getting that? So those are aspirational districts, a concept introduced by Government of India in 2018. So there is a question in 2018 regarding aspirational districts. Are you getting that? If you read that document, you can directly answer this one. Mention core strategies for the transformation of aspirational districts of India. Are you getting that? So if you look at like this, for example, Indian Regional Navigational Satellite System. That year it was it evolved. The concept of that and the navigation system itself was established in the year 2000. Of course, it again is 18. Okay, and one more thing, there are 10 marker questions, there are 15 marker questions. You can see them, there is a difference. 15 marker questions, 10 markers. 15 markers you have to write within 250 words, 10 markers 150 words. So you will be given 10 markers, 15 markers. So 20 questions would be there in each of the papers. So 150 marks plus 100 marks is 250 marks for you guys. Okay. Similarly, if you see electronic voting machines, in fact, I would rather say electronic voting machines is in controversy since my time. My time electronic EVMs are introduced. When I was writing this examination 97 to almost 2002 and 3, electronic voting machines were introduced in 2000, 2001 kind of. Okay. Since then EVMs are in controversy till today also. Even today also EVMs are in controversy. If you see 2018 there was a question on EVMs. Again, Sikkim is the first organic state in India. In fact, it is called first organic state in the world itself. Okay. So, but anyway, in India, what are the ecological and economical benefits of organic state? So, of course, I think I have taken all the questions on 2018 only, right? Okay. It's okay. Relevance. For that matter, 1 year I have taken so many questions of mains. All these questions have current relevancy. Every question comes from different topics of the syllabus. Okay. This question comes from aspirational districts, right? This comes from economy area. This comes science and technology. This comes from polity area, right? Like this, each one of them comes. This is economical benefits of an organic state, ecological and economic benefits. See, ecological as well as economic benefits of an organic state. And this comes Bose-Einstein statistics. Why Bose-Einstein statistics at that time? Who is Bose? Who is Einstein? Do you know Einstein? You know Bose? Satyendranath Bose. 125th anniversary in the year of 2018. 125th anniversary, right? So obviously what happened? That year we have a question on Bose-Einstein, science and technology. Every area you have questions which are related to current affairs. Newspapers, when you read newspapers, you just don't read newspapers for the sake of learning what happened, what is the event. No, it's not just about the event. What kind of a question UPSC can ask on this kind of topics? For example, organic state. Organic state, what kind of question UPSC can ask on organic state? Is not asking about Sikkim is the first organic state is a statement that is given, but he is not asking about Sikkim now. He is not asking about Sikkim, he is talking about organic state. What are the ecological and economic benefits of an organic state? See, he is not talking about Sikkim. Sikkim is declared is a general knowledge question, like Kaun Banega Crorepati kind of a question, right? Sikkim. But the organic state is not Kaun Banega Crorepati question. The organic state is about our civil services question. Economic and ecological benefits is a civil services kind of a question. That's how UPSC will ask a question from a given current affairs topic, a news item. Okay, and these are also, this is capital gains tax, long-term capital gains tax or dividend distribution tax. This comes from economy. And himself is telling in the union budget for 2018 and 19. Getting that? Latest that year, every area UPSC will pick up questions related to current affairs. They might not directly ask you what happened in the current events. No. They are going to ask questions related to analysis of that current affairs. Some important topics every year. These questions are something which are important every year, like EVMs I told you, electronic voting machines. Okay, maybe for example, eradication of poverty by the government of India. Since my childhood, I am looking at this eradication of poverty, right? You are also listening to that since your childhood. Well, my father's childhood also. Okay. 1947 onwards till today, there are so many programs government of India launched in different planning period earlier. Okay, now different governments, whatever, so many poverty alleviation programs have been launched, but still, despite implementation of various programs for eradication of poverty, but government of poverty is still existing. Why? Analysis, complete analysis. This can be asked for you also, for your next juniors as well, right? Any time that can be a good question for you. Caste system in India, it can be a social issues. Caste system in India can always be a question. As well as maybe here, look at the discuss whether formation of new states in recent times is beneficial or not for the economy of India. Formation of new states. Formation of new states has been, my time I have read this formation of new states, my time. Okay, when I'm talking 1997, when I started my actual preparation for civil services, this is a hot topic that time. Today also is a hot topic. Today also is a hot topic, okay. So all these topics like this, there will be women of lower social strata, Or maybe globalization is generally said to be promote cultural homogenization, but cultural specificities appear to be strengthened in the Indian society. See, what I am trying to tell you is, you have to identify what are those things which can be asked every year. What are all those things directly can be asked from syllabus? What are those things which can be asked from current affairs? More or less, if you see, most of the questions which are asked are somewhere or the other related to current relevance, newspapers. So when you read newspapers, any topic that you read in the newspaper, first thing, shall I read this item or not, article or not? What to read, what not to read. Now when I have read it, now what kind of a question can be asked? How UPSC will ask a question? Are you getting that? How UPSC is going to ask a question? Look at the previous question, then you will understand, given a topic, how UPSC is asking a question. Unless you refer to previous question, how would you know it? What is that UPSC is expecting from you? Getting my point? So these are some things which you have to always look into. Just I have given certain sample. Okay, you can look at the latest paper as well. Okay. Now look at this content times, which I said like. Okay. I said static content. Static content is something which doesn't change. Okay, for example, geography also, what kind of oceans that you have, what kind of mountain ranges that you have, what are the rivers that you have, the courses of rivers, of course, more or less is static in it. Sometimes it becomes dynamic also. Courses of rivers. Rivers also change their course. Okay. Sometimes naturally it changes their course. Sometimes the countries, people in China, they change the course of the rivers. Okay. Anyway, there will be dynamic content which keeps on changing, but both of them, what is more important is static content and its analysis is important. If you see static content like history, what we have seen since 1940s, British government is trying to transfer the power, but it has complicated it. SS, getting that? It's complete analysis based. Static content, analysis based. Dynamic content also will get analysis. Okay. Organic state, suppose Sikkim is declared as an organic state, right? And then what are the ecological and economic benefits of being an organic state, right? Are you getting that? It's complete analysis on the dynamic content. But what is important beyond all these things? How to remember all of them? It's very difficult to remember all of them. So many things, so much of content, so much of syllabus. So what is that technique of remembering everything? There are so many people who try to do that, but still most of the people fail in this aspect, that even though I know about this one, I am not able to recollect the points that I am supposed to submit in my answers. Are you getting that? So many people who fail in that. After coming out of the examination hall, people talk about so many things. Array, this is the answer for this, this is the answer for this, this is the answer. Whether they have written in the examination hall or not, outside the examination hall, they talk about these answers, right? Because they recollect answers outside the examination hall, not in the examination hall. This happens to most of us, right? We also are human beings, therefore this is what happens. Now, before going further, I just wanted to tell you guys something which is important here. There is something called as forgetting curve. It's a Bingas who has given this forgetting curve. I will, it will go a little faster here. Okay. Any kind of a human being has a tendency of forgetting. He remembers, memorizes, as well as he forgets. But the pathetic situation is that he forgets faster than remembering. The instant he remembers, he starts forgetting also. For example, someone who has read something, he remembered something at this juncture, within 20 minutes, what he regains is only 58%. It also means that 42% of is already lost. This is the 42% which is already lost. This is, I am not saying this. Okay. A Bingas is someone who, you just type in Google, okay, a Bingas forgetting curve, you will exactly get the same image. I have taken the same image. I did not even modify this image, okay, copy paste. But we need to understand something from this one, that's the reason why I have given it here, okay. In a span of 20 minutes, you are forgetting nearly 42% of what you just learned. Look at the case in 1 hour. What remains is 44% only. It also means that how much? 56%. That is more than 50% of what you learned is already lost in a span of 1 hour. 9 hours. 1 day. What remains is 33%. 67% is already lost. Okay? 1 month. 80% is lost. This is true for all of us, except some few individuals in this world where whatever they see, whatever they listen, whatever they read, they remember forever. Very few. Fingertips, you can count them. Okay? Very few. At least I don't belong to that category. Okay? I don't know about you guys. I believe that maybe 90% of you at least, if not 100%, there might be 1 or 2% in you, maybe you can remember everything. But I believe that 90% of you belong to my category also. Okay? Not into that category of those who can remember everything. Okay? Okay, of course there are some of my friends who can remember everything, but still, not everything actually. Some of them, what we are not able to recollect, they are able to recollect, therefore we believe that they have higher memory. That's it. There are certain instances where we remember better than them. Okay, are you getting that? Whatever. But what is important for you guys is this one, 31 month. 1 month, you almost lost 80% of whatever you learned. This is my observation with myself also, of course with my students also. Now, I will tell you one simple example. What I have done is I started a new program, of course, a few years back, almost 6 years back. Program we call it as Abhyasa. Abhyasa in Sanskrit we call it as practice, right? Why I started is based on this phenomenon. The phenomena is based on this. Okay. What it tells is like it's a practice program, daily practice program. Daily you have to write the test. Even today also we are continuing this program because the effectiveness of this program is at paramount level. Okay. Daily you have to write the program. Okay. So what I observed is there are certain people who write daily, there are certain people who do not write. Because some reasons they don't write the test on daily basis. There are certain people who have taken it very seriously because I said in the workshop like this, therefore they have taken it very seriously. Certain people who have not taken it seriously because of various reasons. Plenty reasons would be there, okay. Now what I observed, if you look at after 1 month, the recollection capacity of those who have written on daily basis is very high, very high compared to recollection capacity of those people who could not write the test. If the same thing continued for suppose 9 months, because the course is nearly for 9 to 10 months. Okay. Now what happens? What happens? For those people who did not attended the daily tests, attended, not attended, not attend people are those people after 1 month they already lost 80%. Imagine after 3 months what happens? After 6 months, after 10 months, by the time you complete your course, you will not be able to recollect what happened in the very first month. Are you getting that? That is because of the reason that this decay is something which happens. Not for me, not for just you, for everyone this happens. This is something which is a big hindrance for all civil services because you have to recollect so much of information. So many things you have to read and so many things you have to remember, recollect on daily basis. Now we have to reverse this process. The reversal can happen. The reversal can happen with actually 2 things. Beating the forgetting curve. How to beat this forgetting curve? Suppose, assuming that this is what the forgetting curve initially is. It goes like this. Okay. Now what I will do, there will be first repetition in 10 minutes. So whatever you learn, you revise it, immediately revise it. So 10 minutes might not be possible. For example, suppose you attend a class morning 6:30 to 9. What you have to do, 9 to 9:30, close your eyes and recollect what happened in the 2.5 hours, 6:30 to 9. Immediately. Okay? Again, what happens? Once you revise it, what happens? This decay is reversed. You will come back to the original position. Okay? Now again decay starts. Now again the decay starts. Yes, it starts, the decay starts, but the rate at which it is falling down, this is not the same rate, it's a lower rate. It's not steeply coming down, right? Slower rather. Okay? Now second revision you will go with in 24 hours. Now 24 hours you again revise it. Now what happens? Again you are going to reverse this and then again decay starts, and third revision you go in a week's time. Again you come back to the original and then again decay, but look at this decays. Every time you are revising, the rate in which the decay is happening has become reduced. Okay? And then fourth revision in 1 month and the last revision, fifth revision in 3 months, you almost come to 100%. 100% might not be there always, okay? You are almost up to 100%. So this is what, this is, again this diagram is not my diagram. I have not drawn this one, okay? Copy, paste. But whatever is relevant in the internet, I have taken as far as our exam is concerned. Our requirement is concerned, therefore I have taken. So the point here is first revision, second, third, fourth and fifth revisions. If you are able to make these revisions in proper times, there's nothing like that. But there is something beyond this also. What is that something beyond this? This is the same thing actually. Okay. See, the content of this one is that no one can remember 100% in the initial itself. Okay. But when you revise it, it goes to 100% but again comes back. And again you revise it again, that's what it is. Okay. But again, this is what we have done. So this is what the Abhyasa is all about. What I have done is, within 24 hours, if you are able to revise, okay, not only revise, along with revision, you have to go with practice as well. That's what we call it as blended learning. Don't worry about the terms actually. Context, the point you have to understand here is, it's not just about the learning that you have done. Learning we have already done, we have seen the previous slide, learning we have already done. Now I am talking about revisions and practice. If these two go together, along with learning, if revisions and practice also go together, even while revising also, it's not that whatever I read today, I will revise tomorrow, day after tomorrow, daily, no. Spaced revisions, 24 hours, 1 day, 1 week, fortnightly, monthly, 3 months. If you see the previous diagram, we have that spacing is there, right? When you have to revise. So what we have done is we created a program, a Abhyasa program, which on daily basis you are going to write the test. Whatever you learn today morning, tomorrow you are going to write the test in 24 hours. While you are writing the test, you have to come with revision of whatever you have done. And then test means it's a practice. This is the best thing that you can always do as far as your learnings are concerned. Learning, revisions and practice. Daily, weekly, within a week, whatever is learned in the entire week, you have to revise, come and write the test. Fortnightly, 15 days, 14 or 15 days, whatever you call, 2 weeks. So 2 weeks, whatever you learn in the class, revise, come and write the test. Monthly, whatever you learn, monthly, come and revise the test and then write the test. Similarly, every 3 months. This is what we call as Abhyasa program, which is completely related to practice, completely based on Ebbinga's forgetting curve and reversal of Ebbinga's forgetting curve. Though I designed this one, this is completely based on the scientific knowledge that we obtained from the previous Ebbinga's forgetting curve and the reversal of that. Okay, that is something which I have not done. Okay, that research and everything was done by someone else. I've just taken what is important as far as our exam is concerned. So what I have done additionally is that daily evaluation and feedback has to be given in the daily test, as well as there is a mentor support, writing practice and techniques also would be taught. Someone is asking about answer writing, right? Every day you have to write. Now, when I'm talking about in the one of the previous slides, I was telling you refer to previous question on daily basis. Whenever you are reading something, refer to previous questions so that you will understand how UPSC is asking questions, how UPSC is thinking when it is actually framing a question. Is something which you have to understand. That is possible only when you refer to previous questions. Okay. Now, when you are referred to previous questions, why don't you take a test on those previous questions? Suppose there are only 5 questions. 5 minutes, take a test. Evaluate yourself. You got some right, you got some wrong. Right, why you got right? Is it guesswork because of which you got right answer? Or is it just you know the concept, therefore you got right answer? You got wrong because you don't know, you don't have clarity on the concept, or you don't even read what is given in the question. Are you getting that? So all these things you analyze there and then itself, and then you understood the concept, whatever is given the question, given in the book, but you are not able to answer the question because the question standard is at the next level, or the question is of the current affairs level. At that, on that particular year, there might be some current affairs that happen, because of that reason the question would have been appeared in the exam, right? That might be the case. Today you don't know about that, because last year what happened, how would you know today? Not possible, right? Are you getting that? Organic state was declared in 2008. How would you know today? Unless there's some kind of discussion happened today also, this year also, right? Are you getting that? So don't expect that organic state question to come this year. Don't expect that. Okay? For example, 2013, I think I remember, or 2016, yeah. Pulses. United Nations declared 2016 as a year of pulses. This year also, right? This year of millets, right? That was year of pulses. That was year of pulses. Now this is year of millets. There might be a possibility that on millet there might be a question. How a question can be asked on millets this year? Look at that question, previous question, pulses question. Then you will understand. Getting my point? Got it? So that's how you have to refer to previous questions and see what kind of a question can be expected in today's world. Okay? For that, you have to refer to previous questions. My suggestion is not only just refer to previous questions, you test yourself in the previous questions. Not just look at the previous questions. Okay? Fine. Okay, let me give this entire synopsis of this. Whatever we discussed till now, and then we'll briskly move on to other areas. Okay, so learnings, revisions and practice. Learnings need to be, you need to know what to read and what not to read, which comes from the syllabus, and how to read which comes from previous year question papers, and we need kind of revisions and practice. So what we have done is we created an Abhyasa program. Okay. Number 2, since you have come here so long, so I just would like to tell certain things, what initiatives that we have taken up. There is something called as Abhyasa Plus program. This is for those people who complete your 10 months or 9.5 or 10 months of classes. So you know what is there in the entire syllabus, right? Everything is one round of learning, revisions and practice would have been completed. Then we created a program called as Abhyasa program. In a continuation of Abhyasa program, we continued with the Abhyasa Plus program. So what we do is, we actually select some cream students out of this Abhyasa. So we call it as Abhyasa Plus. So we create library, study hall, and entire infrastructure is created along with some mentors support, for which separately we conduct a test series. Okay, a separate test series will be conducted for these guys. Okay, they will have 3 weekly tests, and then if you are following with another test series which is given for everyone, the test series and these weekly tests would be synchronized. For example, we are going to conduct from 19th onwards prelims test series. Prelims test series for those people who are writing 2023 exam. So 19th they are going to write polity exam. Okay, today is 11th, right? Tomorrow 12th Sunday. So Sunday something happened. So Monday to Sunday what happens for them? Okay, Tuesday whatever the polity syllabus we divide into 3 parts. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, right? Sunday they are going to write entire polity test. So what we are going to do is, we are going to have the 1/3 of polity syllabus, polity 1 test on Tuesday and another 1/3 of polity syllabus, polity 2 test. On Saturday, another 1/3 of polity 3 tests. For this Abhyasa plus students, we will take only 40 students, not beyond that. And this entire syllabus, they are going to write a grand test on the polity along with everyone. The test series anyway is given to everyone. Okay, we offer it to everyone. Okay, but these are those people, specialized people who are cream students who will be given 24/7 study room and library facility along with mentors. These are people who will be actually attending these topics. What to read in this, what to read in this, what to read in syllabus will be giving beforehand, 6 months beforehand. Okay, and then what books to refer, doubts clarification, because mentors are there, doubts clarification, everything will be done these days. Okay, that way what happens is, you will become an expert of that polity in that 1 week. Next area, next area, next area, next area. It keeps going like that. That's what is this mentorship support. Of course, this mentorship support anyway would be there for regular batch students as well, but not at this level. Okay, let me revise this. LRP, learnings, revisions and practice, which is very important, which has to be followed. Or else, I am telling you, if you don't follow, I am telling you on the day one itself, if you don't follow learnings, revisions and practice together, I am telling you, it takes years for you to crack this exam. Years, not first attempt. If you really want to crack this examination in the very first attempt, then your learnings, your revisions, your practice, all of them should go together. Now, the general tendency of a student also I will tell you. If you start this preparation, then you will understand what is the tendency. Generally, a student will feel like, first I will learn everything, then I will revise and then write the test. General tendency. For example, daily I conduct the test. I told you that some people write the test, some people don't write the test. Why the other people don't write the test? They have a tendency of thinking like, first let me learn everything in polity, entire polity. Then I will revise so that I will recollect everything. And then I will write the test. When do that happen? When the entire syllabus is completed. Till the time there are hundreds and hundreds. In fact, you will be writing nearly 4,500 plus object MCQs you will be practicing with this Abhyasa, which you are missing already. Who is going to conduct all these tests tomorrow for you? Who will conduct? And descriptive, daily 10 MCQs and 1 descriptive question you have to write. 10 MCQs, 1 descriptive question, right? Nearly 450 plus descriptive question answer writing also you will be doing, answer writing practice you will be doing in the matter of 10 months. So, daily is less number 10 plus 1, weekly is 20 plus 2, quarterly is 30 plus 3, monthly is 100 MCQs and 20 full length questions of mains. Okay. So, when you combine all of them, it's thousands and these are hundreds. So much of practice you should be able to complete in a matter of 10 months when you are actually learning. When you are actually learning itself, you should be able to revise, you should be able to practice also, all should go together. Then at the end of 10 months, your preparation for prelims examination becomes so easy for you. You are already comfortable. Then where is the question of the distress when I am talking about the curve, right? The curve I am talking about. Where is the fear of failure there? Where is the fear of failure for you? Or where is the fear that I will not be able to perform better in this examination? Where is the distress component? There is no distress there. It's always will be eustress always. There is no distress component in that case, provided you are well aware of LRP. And you do that. You practice that. Irrespective of what is the kind of books that you are reading, what kind of coaching classes that you are reading, irrespective of that. Unless you have learning, revision and practice going together, you cannot crack this examination in the first attempt. Or else you should have been already preparing for this examination, maybe the descriptive answer writing practice, you are already good at writing skills, or you are already good at memorizing skills, you are good at analysis skills. All these things you already have it because of some reason, because of the upbringing or whatever. Then it's a different story. That's a different story. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about people like me who actually wanted some kind of a proper guidance in cracking this examination. Getting that? So in that context, my suggestion is that go with Abhyasa kind of this thing. Okay. One simple thing before going to optional. No one asked about optional subject actually, but anyway. This is for the sake of you people to understand there are certain important things in this. What papers are important in mains? Okay. These are marks obtained by one candidate who finally got selected. Okay. Who finally got rank of, I didn't remember his rank. Nikhil, I don't want to give his complete name. I just has given his a short name, what we call him as. Very old one. I am not even given the latest one also. I am giving the old one. Just to tell you like what is important. Since the beginning, today also is the same thing. Okay, nothing has changed now. Look at this guy. Okay, right? 250, 250s, right? Mains, optional 1, optional 2. Mains total out of 7. These are actual marks. Okay, final marks. This guy got these marks in 2015 examination, mains examination. 2016, these are the marks. Now, if you look at what's the difference between these two, there we have the differences kept in red, which are important to identify what made all the difference for this guy. This guy could not clear mains examination, therefore he could not attend interview. Next year, he attended interview, he got 149 interview. 149 is not a big score again, interviews, average score. But still he got into service. Okay. Now, what made him get into service? What made him get into service? Essay is something which is very low. He has to ensure that he has to get very good marks. Next time he got 158, extraordinary score. He crossed that difference of 100 plus is extraordinary. Not everyone can do that, I am telling you. Targeting this is good, but don't expect these marks this time, okay? Every time, not possible. Okay, and the GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, okay? Not such prominent increment in the marks that he got, right? So, not much differences except for this 18 marks is okay. He got excellent marks in GS1. Now, look at this optional. Look at this optional paper, okay? Optional paper tremendously increased, which gave him chance to attend interview. This is not such a high score. What you can see from this is that there are certain things which are important in this entire civil services mains preparation so that you can crack this exam. One is your essay paper, next is your optional, other one is your interview. Our other one is your interview. Okay? No, these are available in internet as well. Okay? You don't need to take photograph of this one, not required, right? Okay. Now, essay is the deciding factor, optional is the deciding factor, and then interview anyway, because this guy had his score instead of 149, somewhere around 179 or 189 or 200 or 219 or 220. There's a lot different. There are two people who got 220s and this guy got 150 suppose. 70 marks difference itself is a huge one. 70 marks itself is a very huge one, right? So, he would have become all India topper for the kind of scores that he got in other papers, mains, right? This would have been all India topper, but still he is not all India topper because of this reason that he got only average scores in the personality test. Okay? But anyway, the point that I am trying to make here is, these are those three things which are very, very crucial for this examination. All these four papers, generally people score relatively same. Somewhere or all, nowadays you are not getting 120s, very rarely you see these 120s, okay. Somewhere you will get 90 to 100. Best scores are between 90 to 100 in GS 1, 2, 3, 4. Earlier, this 4 which used to be ethics paper, 4 used to be ethics paper. Earlier days, it was like a puzzle for so many candidates, but later on the ethics paper is also cracked. It's cracked and now people know how to get high scores in ethics paper. But UPSC is not giving very high scores in ethics paper, but still yes, decently you can score good in ethics paper. But whatever, GS is something where more or less you can somehow get into an average score. But still, what makes you crack this examination? Essay, this and this. So essay you have to score high. Optional anyway you have to score high, because that is something which should be in your hands, and then interview is something which you have to not nice. I think this is the rank of the candidate, right? Okay, right? So this is what it is. So focus on essay, focus on an optional. Of course, GS is also important, not that GS is not important. GS, even if you score 10, minus 10, minus 10, minus 10 and minus 10, you are gone. You are nowhere in the list. You are nowhere in the list. So to get these marks, 90 to 100 is something which requires lots and lots of efforts. If you don't put that kind of effort, the advantage that you are getting from essay optional interview will be lost. Okay? So the point that I am trying to make here is that this is something which you have to focus on initial days, master this one first, and then to be more specific, then try to master this, and of course this is something which you have to master at any cost. Of course this is something which you are going to see in the end, okay, but the training for this happens from day 1 onwards. Interview preparation starts from day 1 onwards. Whatever you are reading now, all these things are useful for your interview later on. Interview, what we do actually in mock interviews, tomorrow we have mock interviews of 8 candidates. Okay, all these 8 candidates, why they cleared mains examination, or what is that we are going to make a difference in their interview? If we fine tune them, we just fine tune them. What they have, already they have enough content because of clearing the mains. They have lots and lots of content with them. We just need to fine tune that content to suit to UPSC way of asking questions and UPSC's expectations. Got it? That's how it is. Anyway. Okay. Let me go with one of the very popular doubts that people have on, or one of the popular, we call it as a kind of concern that people have on how to choose an optional. This is what it is. In order to choose an optional subject, the first thing that everyone should think of, ఇప్పుడు అవసరం మీకు ఇది ఆప్షనల్, షల్ ఐ స్కిప్ దిస్ వన్? కావాలా? కావాలి కదా, మరి ఇందాక అడగాలి కదా అప్పుడు. యూపీఎస్సీ ఎక్స్పెక్టేషన్స్లో ఆప్షనల్ ఎందుకు వస్తుంది? ఆప్షనల్ ఎలా చూస్ చేసుకోవాలనేది ఇంపార్టెంట్ కదా. ఆప్షనల్ స్కోర్ అనేది నెంబర్స్లో అదంతా కదా. What the previous slide is talking about in terms of numbers, because UPSC final selection is all about numbers only. You get more numbers in each of the subjects, you got selected, that's it. How to get those numbers? What kind of strategy that you need to have to get those numbers? Anyway, look at this optional. Now, what optional that you select is not important here. What is important is you select that optional subject which is important for you. That means which is interesting for you. If you don't have interest for any of the subjects, you might not be the person who are scoring very high in that subject. Every year, every optional has highest scorers, top scorers, extraordinary scorers. But if you have to become one of those extraordinary scorers, it's the only thing which is going to make the difference. No other parameter. Now people talk about scoring potential, anyway I will discuss. People talk about GS overlap, people talk about resource availability, people talk about simple subject or hard subject, people talk about graduation subject. It's not all about that. It is subject which has got the interest in you. You should have that interest. If you don't have interest, you cannot be that highest scorer in this optional subject. Okay. Now again the point is, sir, I have got interest in the subject of my graduation, which is civil engineering. Suppose I am just asking, or mechanical. I am mechanical engineer anyway. In mechanical engineering, suppose, let me blame myself for this. Okay. I am not blaming mechanical engineering. I am trying to blame that I have chosen mechanical engineering as with passion. I have chosen mechanical engineering because I want to become a mechanical engineer. I love mechanical engineering. But when I joined, of course, OU campus only, I joined OU campus for my engineering. In 4 years, I lost my interest in mechanical. And that's what is being taught in mechanical engineering there. It's a different thing, what you learn in 4 years of engineering, okay. Of course, somewhere down the line you will have that interest, it's a different thing, but I want to do something miraculously big things in mechanical engineering, which I could not do because of I lost interest. Because the teachers themselves don't know what I know. So what would I learn from the teachers then, right? Anyway, that's a different thing. So when you think of taking a graduation subject, okay, now I kept it in the lowest one, the reason being that not every graduation subject will have the second potential, the scoring potential. You might be having interest levels at the highest parameter, but second also is important to be successful in this examination, right? So in order to get this one, you have to understand that, the scoring potential or success rate in civil service examination also plays some kind of important role, right, in choosing an optional subject. If you neglect this one, then again you are gone. So the first priority though always goes for interest, the second priority goes with scoring potential. Now, how to get into this? I am not getting it properly, suppose. You identified 2 subjects or 3 subjects, 3 optional subjects, which you found that I have equal level of interest. For example, sir, political science I am very much interested, public administration I am very much interested, sociology also I feel tomorrow I am going to serve the society, I am very much interested in sociology, right? 3 optionals, equal level of interest. Now comes the second parameter. Are they really having high scoring potential in civil service examination? Trend based. Trend based means today, at this moment, this year, for the last 2-3 years of the trend, if you see, is it worth taking a particular option from this 3? Is something which you have to identify. For that, you need an expert to tell you like this is what's happening in the trend. Okay, you yourself cannot identify it, right? Very difficult unless you also analyze all the previous years of results and all those stuff, and then try to formulate a trend pattern and then identify, yeah, this option has got this trend, the other option has this trend, another option this trend. Okay, so that is something which you might be able to do or might not be able to do, is a different thing. But what is important as of the present trend, whether that subject has got scoring potential or not. Now identified out of 3, 2 of them has got, I got the same level of interest, scoring potential also is very high as far as the trend is concerned. Now comes the third parameter, general studies overlap. General studies overlap means what? How much of my optional subject has overlap with general studies? Political science, how much overlap I have in general studies? Public administration, how much overlap I have in general studies syllabus? Sociology, how much overlap I have in general studies? This is something which you have to identify. Since these 2 parameters are already fulfilled, this is not such a big thing to identify. Okay? Resources availability is something, almost these days everything is available. Don't worry about it. Okay? Simple or hard, there is nothing like simple subject or hard subject. If you have interest in the subject, it is simple. If you don't have interest, it is hard. This subject, graduation subject, if it falls into these categories, you can always take it. Are you getting my point? But just that I have a graduation subject which is there as optional subject in civil services, I will take it. No. It has to come from here always, whether it is a graduation subject or not. Got it? Any questions here? Got it? Understood? Okay. Okay, fine. There are certain examples of my students. Each has got his own, his or her own speciality. This guy is Mr. Ray Mutyal Raj. I don't know how many of you know about this guy. Today he is now additional principal secretary to AP government. Okay. He was my student in 2004. 2004, I think June batch. I think, yeah, June batch. That batch was a good batch actually. Almost there were 14 students, of which 7 students got in selected different years. One of them is Mutyal Raju. You know what is the specialty of this guy? How? You know him? Nellore collector చేశాడు కదా. ఆ టైంలో రాజశేఖర్ రెడ్డి చీఫ్ మినిస్టర్గా ఉన్నప్పుడు ఆల్ ఇండియా ర్యాంక్ 1 అన్నది ఫస్ట్ టైం వచ్చింది మనకు అప్పటికి కదా. ఫస్ట్ టైం వచ్చింది ఇండియాలో. అంతే, సారీ, దట్ వాస్ కంబైన్డ్ ఏపీ. కంబైన్డ్ ఏపీలో ఫస్ట్ టైం ఉన్నప్పుడు ఈ ఆస్క్ లైక్, అరే ఆల్ ఇండియా ర్యాంక్ తీసుకొచ్చావు, మనకి మంచి పేరు తీసుకొచ్చావు, యూ జస్ట్ ఆస్క్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ వాంట్, ఐ విల్ గిఫ్ట్ యూ. నాకేముంది సార్, నాకు బ్రిడ్జ్ కట్టండి, మా ఊరికి మెయిన్ ల్యాండ్కి బ్రిడ్జ్ కట్టండి. ఆ బ్రిడ్జ్ లేకపోవటం వల్ల నా చెల్లెలు చనిపోయింది, ఆ నీళ్ళల్లో పడిపోయి, నాకు ఆ బ్రిడ్జ్ కట్టింది శాంక్షన్ ఆన్ ద స్పాట్. అఫ్ కోర్స్ అది కట్టించడానికి కొన్ని సంవత్సరాలు పెట్టింది అనుకోండి, ఇట్స్ అ డిఫరెంట్ స్టోరీ. బికాస్ ఆఫ్ రెడ్ టేపిజం అండ్ ఆల్ దోస్ థింగ్స్ ఇన్ అవర్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్, దట్స్ ఎ డిఫరెంట్ స్టోరీ. నో, అదంతా ఆయన పర్సనల్ లైఫ్, రైట్? నో, దట్స్ ఓకే, గుడ్ వన్. As far as we are concerned now, okay, preparation sambandhinchi, what is the specialty of this guy? The specialty is that this guy came to me in 2004 only. 2004 when he came to me, he completed his masters in IASC Bangalore, Indian Institute of Science Bangalore, okay, electrical engineer. So his options were electrical engineering and mathematics. By that time he was already topper of Indian Engineering Service, IAS. Indian Engineering Service is for all those engineers who with their backgrounds, they write this exams. So electrical, he was already all India topper. So with that confidence, he has chosen mathematics as his second optional. He has written the exam also. Before coming to me, he has written the mains examination. So electrical, he got very good marks. Mathematics, he got one of the lowest marks. He came to me and asked me, sir, I know everything in math syllabus. Now I got one of the lowest marks. Now you tell me why it happened. 2004, okay. And I asked him, look at the syllabus. I kept previous question papers in front of him. Now you tell me, this topic you know? Yes, I know. Look at the question. Have you answered this question? No. Why didn't you answer? I did not recollect anything in the examination hall. Why did not you recollect? At home I am doing everything. In the examination hall I am not doing anything. Someone is asking. Okay? No, he doesn't have that fear of failure. Okay? But it's a different this thing altogether. Then I asked him another topic. Entire syllabus, he has done it already. But still he is not able to score high. Then I told him, this is the biggest mistake that you have. You don't have any strategy there. Where is strategy? There should be a plan for your preparation, right? You are just preparing. I will tell you right from the day, the first minute onwards, the point that I was trying to tell you guys is that day one when you start your preparation, the minute then you think of preparing for this examination, you should have a way of preparation. Not just blindly look at the syllabus, not just blindly prepare for this exam. No. What he has done, he doesn't know anything because no one guided him by the time. So he doesn't know what to do. So he has taken the syllabus, he has taken all the reference books, someone told that all these reference book you follow, he has completed everything, entire syllabus, this way, that way, he has done it but not able to compete in the final examination. What might be the reason? Can anyone guess? Two things here. One is When you prepare the entire syllabus is so vast that you cannot mastery the entire syllabus. UPSC knows where people are very comfortable, where people are not comfortable. UPSC knows it. Right? You cannot mastery the entire syllabus. Not possible. In 1 year, what do you think? This syllabus is for 5 years. What do you think yourself? Can you complete this in 1 year or what? And mastery that, not completing, mastering that. Is it possible? Not possible. At home is possible. Why? Because at home what happens? Where do you get the questions? The questions you will get from the textbook. In textbooks, how does, suppose look at mathematics. You have done your schooling, right? In mathematics, how the textbook would be there? In the textbook, they will explain a concept. After concept, what happens? They will give some examples. What are the examples? Question, and the textbook itself solves it, right? Another example, solve, solution. Another example, solution. Next what? Questions for practice, for which the solution is not given. The final answer is given to check yourself. Is it or not? Are you getting that? Now, for that also, how to solve also, hints would be given in the question itself. Now, when you are doing at home, that question you know how to solve it, because the previous questions are there which tells you how to solve the question. You know how to solve this question also. UPSC will not tell you like there are 10 methods to solve, of which this question has to be solved with some method. UPSC does not give that. UPSC just tells you solve this question. Which method? It will not give. Textbook gives you the method by which you are going to solve the question. So whenever you sit at home, everything is very comfortable because everything is provided to you. But when you go to examination hall, nothing is provided, no hints are provided. You have to find out those hints, or you have to remember those hints. For that, you need to have a strategy how to remember all those things, and then in the examination hall, you can crack it. Two things are important. Both are missing with Mutyal Raju. So I told him, Arya, this is not the way. This is not the way to prepare for civil services. If you want to crack this examination, I will give you a strategy. So I have given him, these are the topics you have to prepare and get mastery over them, and then crack all the questions in the examination hall. And he has done that in 2005. 2005 he got into IPS, right? Initially he got into IPS, and 2006 he got into IAS. Very next year. Got it? So the strategy is something which is missing with this guy. He was very hardworking, very hardworking. Before coming to me, he has done the syllabus. But what's the use of completing syllabus when you don't have a strategy? That's what I'm telling. And reading NCERT books, coming to institute, or along with the institute you carry on with the NCERT books. It doesn't make much difference as long as you are reading it properly according to the way you are supposed to read for this exam. If you are not reading according to the examination, what's the purpose of reading everything beforehand? Getting my point? So all these things are related things actually, because the basics, when you are missing them, and there are so many people who miss those basics and not able to crack it, but after all, finally they got that. They got that and they cracked it. Okay? And this guy, Srikanth Verma. Where is Srikanth Verma now? Godavari, east or west? Or Rajahmundry, somewhere he is there. Okay. Earlier, this was I think last year he was in Kadapa. Okay. Now this guy, again another special case. I keep telling about this guy to lot many candidates. The reason being that this guy is an exceptional guy. Exceptional in the sense, his guy's elder brother also is my student. This guy also mathematics optional. No, it's not about mathematics optional that I am talking here. It's about the way you need to have a plan for yourself. So every guy has, the examples that I am giving, everyone has their own speciality. Okay, Raju I told you, right? Now, Srikanth. This guy, he was working in Google and then Amazon he worked. While working in Amazon, he came for weekend batch with me. Weekend batch. So only Saturdays, Sundays he had time, therefore he came in the weekends. For 3 months he was there with me in the weekend classes, and then he realized that sir, I am not able to spend enough time for my preparation. What do you think I should do? No, if you want to crack the next year examination, you don't have a choice. You have to resign. He resigned. He resigned. Beautiful job. I am talking about 2014, right? It is in 2012, no, 2013 only. 13 only, early 2013. Okay. And then he resigned and kept himself ready for entire 1 year. Okay. Now what happened? So at every moment I was guiding him like this, because my student only, right? Therefore obviously he'll be in touch with me at different levels. So somehow he cleared prelims. Immediately as soon as he cleared prelims, he came to me one day, sir, what I have to do now? So for mains examination, I have given him a strategy which worked out for him completely. But what happened after that? As soon as mains exam got completed, next day he came to me crying. He was crying literally. I asked him, what's the point? Sir, the way we planned, I could not perform in the final exam. What happened? We discussed every question, we discussed what he has written, what he could not write, everything. After completing all the things, I told him, you will clear this time, don't worry. Mains is something which you are going to clear. No sir, with this I don't think so I am going to clear. You don't know anything, but I know it. What you have written, because for me, if that question is difficult to this guy, it is difficult to everyone throughout India. But this guy did not understand it, right, at that age. Okay. And I understand what kind of marks he is going to clear this exam. How many marks he is going to get. Now I asked him to do one thing, don't worry about this result. You just worry about interview preparation. Immediately start interview preparation. This guy blindly started interview preparation. He cleared prelims. No, interview preparation, what happens, there's so many things. Generally, people, what they do is after mains examination, you will have 2.5 to 3 months of time for results to come out, mains exam. From there onwards, you will get another 1.5 to 2 months time to complete your detailed application form and then interview preparation. Okay. So most of the people waste their time in the first initial 2.5 to 3.5 months till the time the mains results come. Once the results of mains come, they rush for different institutes and collect the material so that they can start reading everything. Not only that, they have to prepare questions based on their detailed application form, their own resume kind of. We call it as detailed application form, DAF in our civil services. Okay. The DAF also plenty of questions would come. So at least if you are thorough with your DAF by the time results come, rest of the things anyone can do. So I asked him to prepare the questions. We had a lot of discussions on those questions, and by the time results came out, he cleared that mains examination. By the time he is already thorough with his detailed application form and all the questions and answers also. So what is left for him? Just need to look at current affairs. Anyway, daily he is reading current affairs. Done. He is one of the highest scorers in interview, 212 or something. Highest scorers that time. First attempt, very single attempt, cleared the exam. His brother, elder one, he could not clear exam. He could not clear mains. Reason, again, the biggest reason is what Mutyal Raju made a mistake. His brother is gem of a guy, extraordinary gentleman, gem of a guy, very good human being. The mistake he has done was, he prepared every book. We are talking, how many books we have to refer for each of the book, each of the topic. You asked me, right? What did I tell? What did I tell at that time? Take one book, revise 10 times instead of 10 books. The mistake he has done is that. For every topic, he referred to so many books and prepared a notes for himself that itself is bigger than a book. Are you getting that? Each of the chapter. What it should be, it should become one page. A chapter should become a page. There are 15 chapters, 15 pages, your syllabus is complete in that 15 pages. That's it. There should be summary notes as always, not the exhaustive notes. Even though you prepare exhaustive notes, later on you have to consolidate that and make it a simple or summary notes, revision notes. That revision notes are something which you have to revise multiple times always. which his brother has not done, this guy has done that. So this guy cracked it in the very, very first attempt. Are you getting that? Every example, you take something from them. This guy, who is this guy? AK Khan, his son Mujamil Khan. Okay? Mujamil Khan is basically an IITian, IIT Chennai. IIT Madras antam basically. Anyway, this guy, optional is anthropology that time. Okay, one day AK Khan called me, Srikanth, you have to come to my house. Why? My son is struggling here. For what? Optional subject, strategy, whatever. So we had a discussion and finally finalized that this guy has anthropology as his optional, and then this guy is not scoring high in anthropology. He wanted me to find the reason why this guy is not getting good score in anthropology. Generally, sons will not be so interactive with the fathers. Okay, they are very close to mothers, not with the fathers. That too, when a father is at high position, what happens? Father asks him, hey, you tell me that, you tell me that. So sons will not accept it. Okay, generally happens. So Srikanth is not listening to me, you have to talk to him. Then I had a discussion. What is the discussion? I was talking about that in your optional subject also, right? How to choose an optional subject. That's the point. This is the point here. The first question I asked him, how much score that you got in last year anthropology? So he said some score which is very low, out of 500, he got less than 200. Less than 200. But this kind of a smart and sharp guy, less than 200 in anthropology. Where anthropology was scoring very high at that time. Okay. I asked him one simple question, do you have interest in anthropology? He looked at me, why I should have interest in anthropology? I just need score, why I should have interest in anthropology? This is what he said. Acha, okay, TK. So I was talking about other things as well, like do you know what is the scoring potential of anthropology? Very high. Then why you are not getting score? I don't know why I am not getting score. I read everything, I understand everything. Have you went for coaching for anthropology? No, you did not go for anthropology coaching anywhere. It's okay, fine. Have you written any test series? No, I got some question papers, I have written answers. Then how do you know your answers are good answers? One should know, right? One should evaluate himself, right? Right? Himself from where? From experts. Someone should evaluate him that whether these are good answers or wrong answers, which he has not done that. So there are two mistakes here. What is the first mistake? He doesn't have interest in the subject. Number two is writing answers. Okay, how many answers he has written also no one knows, but he is not evaluating those answers with some experts. Two mistakes. Then I told him. First thing. Second thing is something which is very easy. You send me the answer scripts, I will get it evaluated with the anthropology faculty, that becomes sufficient. What are the first one? First one, interest in the subject, is it possible? I told him. One simple thing, it's not about your answers again, it's about the first part. If you don't have interest for the subject, you will score good marks. 200, I will make it 250 or 260 by evaluating your answers, but it cannot become 300. Sir, I don't have interest, what I shall do? I don't know what you are going to do, but you have to get interest. Forcefully get interest in the subject if you don't have interest in the subject. Because he has already read the subject, he cannot change the subject now. He felt it comfortable. He is able to recollect, remember also. But the point is, he is not scoring high. Why? Because interest in the subject. If you have interest in the subject, you will think in the subject point of view. Always think from the subject point of view. When you are thinking from the subject point of view, whatever, when you talk to others, when you talk to other people, bigger people, outside people, or when you see the outside surroundings, when you read the newspaper, you collect examples or information from those newspapers or magazines or people vis-a-vis your subject, anthropology subject or sociology or political science or public administration. When you have interest for the subject, you get examples from your surroundings, not from the textbooks. Everyone has the same textbooks throughout India. Everyone reads the same textbooks. Everyone is thorough with the same textbooks. Whatever is the content given in the textbooks throughout India, everyone is thorough with them. Whatever the UPSC asks a question, everyone writes the same answer. But why you should get good marks for the same answer? Why you should be selected for the same answers you are writing? unless you provide a superior and a distinct example or a distinct case study or distinct points, why you should get additional marks? When you are presenting this, suppose if you don't have interest, what happens, you know? You read the book. Whatever is given in the book, you will write answer. Is it or not? Is it or not? That's what happens. But if you have interest for the subject, what happens? You read the book, you take the example of the book, you understand the example, based on that you try to identify some other examples from outside. Those examples you try to incorporate in your knowledge. The same thing you are going to do in your examination also. You have a different answer compared to anyone else's answer. So you are going to get a better mark. That's how you get a better mark. Not just because that you have mugged everything, but you wrote memory. You try to remember everything from the textbooks and start writing. Everyone does that throughout India. There is no specialty in you. Why you should be given good marks? You will get good marks only if you provide a superior answer compared to anyone else's answers. How is it possible? Interest for the subject. And he forcefully created that interest for the subject for the next few months to come. And he cracked this exam. He is one of the highest scorers in anthropology for that matter. Highest scorers of interview also. Okay, obviously got 22nd rank or what? Yeah, 22nd rank. See, these possibilities will be there provided you understand your lacuna, what you are missing in this one. To crack something, there are certain things you should have. If one thing is missing, again you are back. Number of attempts you try to reach, but how many attempts you will take? All these things what you are supposed to get it in the beginning itself. Not that you understand everything about examination, only then you start your preparation. I am not saying that. In the process of preparing only you will find out what is required for this examination. But in the process of preparation, you cannot start in a negative fashion. You cannot start in absurd way. You have to start in the way UPSC requires you to prepare. Okay? Fine. Raghuvamsi is a special case. Now you don't understand. Okay. One last case. Okay. Ashwija. She is from Bellary actually, from Karnataka. Okay. You know what is the specialty of this girl? She came to Hyderabad only for this civils coaching only. Okay. She has taken 1 year of coaching and then appeared for prelims. She could not clear it. She could not clear. You know what she has done? She had talked to people like me and then identified like, yes, there is something which is missing. What she has done is, she had decided she is going to become IAS, number one. Number two, she mobilized her entire family to come to Hyderabad. They have taken 3 BHK kind of a thing. Okay. Her father, mother, siblings, mama, their children, everyone. Okay. Everyone at Hyderabad. Okay. And kids are also there. So, in order to save time, what she has done is, she generally reads 4 newspapers. Now, she stopped reading newspaper. 4 newspapers given to 4 people. Each one reads 1 newspaper daily morning. Most important articles, synopsis of that, they create and give it to Ashwija. They tell her, they talk about that. This girl will listen to them, yeah, take it. Notes they also prepare, done. Like this, they prepared for everything. Entire family she mobilized. At one point of time in art and culture, she had some problem with, she could not understand the architecture behind one of the temple architecture. What is this? Ellora, I think. Yeah, Ellora or whatever. Ajanta and Ellora, right? So what she did is, she planned a tour to Ajanta Ellora with the entire family members. Okay? Engaged a guide there. And let that guide explain everything to her. That guy explained everything, she recorded everything, came back, again listened to the recording and visualized the entire, all this art and art culture and art forms. This is how she worked. Not that I am asking you to do the same thing, I am not saying that. Different people would have done different things based on their resources, their abilities, what they want. Getting that? You also identify that. Not that just keep on preparing for the exam. Nothing happens if you just keep on preparing for the exam. Unless you have what is that you are actually doing, what to read, what not to read, how to read, all these things. And the practice is required, revisions are required, spaced revisions are required, all these things are required. Are you getting that? While choosing an option also, you have to choose in such a way that really fetches you the highest scores. For you, the highest scores. Are you getting that? All these things are possible provided you have idea about all these things. If you don't have idea, who will help you? Richa, again first attempt girl. Okay. Fine. Any questions? బాగా లేట్ అయిపోయింది, ఆకలేస్తుంది. వదిలేస్తే వెళ్ళి అన్నం తినొచ్చు కదా. నాకు ఆకలేస్తుంది, నేను మాట్లాడుతున్నా ఫర్ దట్ మ్యాటర్ అప్పటి నుంచి కదా. ఆల్మోస్ట్ హౌ మెనీ 2.5 hours? యా, మోర్ దాన్ 10కి స్టార్ట్ చేసాను, 10:15 స్టార్ట్ చేశాను కదా. ఓకే, అప్పటి మాట్లాడుతూనే ఉన్నాను నేను, మీరు హాయిగా కూర్చొని వింటున్నారు, సినిమా చూసినట్టు చూస్తున్నారు కదా. ఇప్పుడు మీ టైం వచ్చింది, క్వశ్చన్లు అడగండి. ఓకే, అడగండి. ఎనీ డౌట్స్, ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్స్, ఎనీథింగ్ దట్ యూ వాంట్ మీ టు క్లారిఫై? అది డైలీ బేసిస్లో ఉంటుంది. సి, రిమెంబర్ వాట్ ఐ వాస్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్, దిస్ సంథింగ్ కాల్డ్ అభ్యాస ప్రోగ్రామ్. Daily you are supposed to write 10 object MCQs, 1 descriptive answer, for which evaluation would be done on the same day. By evening papers can be given, you can come and collect, or at least next day morning when you come to institute again for the next class, you are going to collect it. Feedback is written there. If you have any doubts, you can directly talk to the evaluator. Number 1, you can talk to the mentor who is given to you on daily basis. Mentor is someone, for everything you cannot come and talk to the teacher on the suppose morning class completed, afternoon you have a doubt, teacher will not be available in the afternoon. Why teacher will be available? Not possible, right? So mentor is there to clarify all that. Who is the mentor? Who has taken this examination several times and matured in this examination in all the subjects along with his optional subject, and is an experienced mentor. Okay, suppose if you have any strategy related questions, you can directly ask to the mentor. He gives well and good. If it doesn't give, or if you're not satisfied with him, you can come to me. I'll be giving one-to-one counseling for you guys. Okay, I'll be calling you guys basically. Even before I call you guys, you can come to me and directly talk to me for one-to-one strategy making. I'm an expert of strategies basically. For any kind of an examination, without strategy, I won't start preparation also. Okay, strategy means looking at the syllabus, looking at the previous questions, and looking at what I want. So suppose if I prepared for GATE in 1 month. My elder brother was preparing for GATE for the past 2 years, taking coaching. I have not taken any coaching. I am not saying that I am extraordinary in the subject. 4 years, what I told you, right? 4 years what I did. Okay, I lost my interest in subject itself. But it means I didn't prepare well in the 4 years. But 1 year I wanted to prepare for GATE examination, crack it. I want to have it in Osmania University. How much percentile I should get? I should get 92 percentile I should get. To get 92 percentile, how many marks I should get? Okay, I have taken statistics of my seniors, how many marks they got, how much of percentile they got, I have seen. So these many marks I should get. To get these many marks, what is the syllabus that I have to read? How much of syllabus I have to read? Getting my point? Because looking at previous question, you will identify like this topic, these many questions, this topic, these many, this topic, these many. I made a plan, final plan. So these are the topics I am going to read. Additionally, 1 or 2 topics so that I should not take any risk. Are you getting? 1 month I practiced, it's not even 50% of the syllabus. I am telling you, not even 50% of the syllabus I read. My score was 99.8 percentile. How? Strategy format. I didn't even start my preparation. Then I made a strategy, and then I prepared for the examination for 1 month, exactly 1 month, 30 days only, not even 31 days. I cracked this exam. My brother was surprised. Arey yaar, 2 years I am taking coaching, I could not crack it. And that guy is smarter than me actually. Very clever, very intelligent, but still he doesn't have any strategy. What he was doing? Useless. Getting my point? So, the most important thing for this kind of preparation especially, for GATE itself we are able to do like that. For civil services, how much of game plan is required? Right? That planning is something which is important for your preparation. I am not asking day one you start with a strategy, not possible. But something you should start, right, which is relevant to the exam, not just reading. No, stop reading. Whatever you read, you stop it and look at how UPSC is asking exam. If you don't see in that perspective, you prepare for 5 years also, you cannot crack this exam. Why people are taking so much of time? Years, attempts. Why? This is the one. The day you understand LRP, learning, revisions and practice, all three should go together along with how to read. What to read, what not to read, how to read. If you don't have all these together, you're gone. The day you understand this, from there you count for 1 year. That 1 year is important for you. That's it. Getting that? That is something which we keep on reiterating to you guys, that this you have to do, this you have to do. For example, APPSC, I keep on asking every batch when I go and talk to them, are you writing daily exams, APPSC exams or not? The first question is that always. Why? I am not a stupid guy. I have seen all these things. So many exams I have written, so many question papers I created, so many papers evaluated. I know who will become successful, who will not be able to crack this exam. When I tell something, it's critical, very important. Getting that? So it's based on experience that we create all these kind of programs. Right? Yeah.
Sure. అంటే NCERTs నార్మల్గా 6 to 12 బేసిక్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ అంటారు కదా సార్. స్టాండర్డ్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు నార్మల్గా చదవాలా సార్?
అదే చెప్పా, అన్నీ చదవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు.
అదే సార్, అంటే స్టాండర్డ్ తీసుకుంటే సరిపోతుందా సార్?
What is standard in NCERT?
I mean to say, I am from BPSC students. I am from BPSC background, so I don't know how to prepare.
ఎవ్వరికి ఏం తెలియదు, నీకే కాదు.
అంటే నార్మల్గా ఇప్పుడు ఎంట్రీస్ అవి చూస్తున్నా సరే ప్రతి ఒక్కరు 6 to 12 బేసిక్ కంపల్సరీ, సంథింగ్ రిలవెంట్ టు అంటే అని చెప్తారు కదా సార్.
నేను చెప్తుంది కూడా అదే. 6 to 12 మీరు చదవాల్సింది. మళ్ళా 6 to 12 ఏం చదవాలి, ఏం చదవకూడదు, అది కదా ఇంపార్టెంట్. అదే నేను అంటుంది. అన్ని బుక్స్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ కాదు. ఓకే, పాలిటీ అనుకోండి, 11th క్లాస్ బుక్కే ఇంపార్టెంట్, ఇంక మిగతా అవసరం లేదు. వేస్ట్. మీరేం చేస్తారు, 6th నుంచి 12th వరకు పాలిటీలు మొత్తం కొంటారు. ఎందుకు అవన్నీ? మన ఎగ్జామ్కి ఏం కావాలి? ఫర్ అవర్ ఎగ్జామ్ విచ్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ ఆర్ దేర్ విచ్ ఆర్ డిస్కస్డ్ ఇన్ ఎనీ ఆఫ్ దోస్ బుక్స్, దట్ బుక్ విల్ పర్చేస్. ఎ బుక్ విచ్ contains the concept relevant to our exam will purchase our syllabus. అట్లా చూసుకోవాలి, అంతే కదా. అంతేగాని ఆడు అని చెప్తాం బుక్ వెళ్ళని ఇట్లా అంటాడు, ఒకసారి తీసుకోండి అంటాడు. ఆడిదేం పోయింది కదా. మనకు కూడా డబ్బులు ఉండొచ్చు, మైట్ బి దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ మనీ విత్ అస్ సో దట్ వీ కెన్ పర్చేజ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్, మై పప్పా విల్ పర్చేజ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్. ఓకే ఫైన్, అది కాదు పాయింట్. పాయింట్ ఈజ్ వాట్? టైం వేస్ట్. Not only time over kadamma. See, what happens is after 6 months you understood that basics kuda nen strong ga lenu, previous question okkadu kuda solve cheyalepothuna ante aa disappointment etla untadi telusa. After 6 months also you are not able to answer one single question of UPSC ante how will it be? But instead you think in other way around. The very first day onwards you started answering previous question papers. How that would be? ante kada, enta difference undi renditiki. అది నేను చెప్తున్నాను. యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ దట్ వన్. జస్ట్ NCERT 6 to 12 ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్, డెఫినెట్లీ నేను చెప్తాను ఇంపార్టెంట్. అందరు ప్రపంచం మొత్తం ఎవరిని అడిగినా అదే చెప్తాను. మీకు చాట్ జీపీటీని అడిగినా చెప్తుంది అది కదా. ఎందుకంటే అదే డిస్కస్ చేస్తారు ఎవరైనా, కానీ అదే చెప్తారు ఎవరైనా. అందులో ఏది ఇంపార్టెంట్ అనేది కావాలి, మొత్తం కాదు. ఇందా చెప్పాక పోస్ట్ ఇండిపెండెంట్ డెవలప్మెంట్, ఇంత పెద్ద బుక్ చదవండి సరిపోదు, అది కాదు ఇంపార్టెంట్. అందులో ఏవి చదవాలి, ఏది చదవకూడదు అది తెలిసి వాట్ టు రీడ్ అన్న దాంట్లోనూ కూడా హౌ టు రీడ్ ఈజ్ సంథింగ్ విచ్ హ్యావ్ టు ఫోకస్ అండ్ రిపీటెడ్లీ రివైజ్ దెమ్ అండ్ ప్రాక్టీస్ దెమ్. NCERT ఆల్సో రివైజ్ దెమ్, ప్రాక్టీస్ దెమ్. రివిజన్ ఎట్లా చేస్తారు? మళ్ళీ ఇన్సైట్స్ అవటం కాదు. NCERT నుంచి యూ క్రియేట్ యువర్ ఓన్ నోట్స్. నోట్స్ అంతా మళ్ళీ చాటభారతంలో ఇంత చేయకూడదు నేను చెప్పే కదా. ఒక అబ్బాయి చేశాడు, ఏం చేశాడు, 10 బుక్లు రిఫర్ చేసి ఇంత పెద్ద నోట్స్ తయారు చేసి దాన్ని రిఫర్ చేస్తాడు. ఎక్కడవుతుంది, రివిజన్ అవుతుందా? హౌ మచ్ టైం యూ విల్ గెట్ ఫర్ మెయిన్స్ ఎగ్జామ్స్? 2-3 days కన్నా ఎక్కువ టైం రాదు తెలుసా మీకు ఎగ్జామ్కి మధ్య. ఎట్లా రివైజ్ చేస్తారబ్బా? హౌ వుడ్ యూ రివైజ్ ఆల్ దీస్ బుక్స్? పాసిబులా అంత సిలబస్ని? కదా. ఇప్పుడు 15 చాప్టర్లు ఉన్నప్పుడు ఒక్కొక్క చాప్టర్కి ఒక పుస్తకమే ఎక్కువ. ఒక చాప్టర్ని ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ కండెన్స్ ఇట్ ఇంటూ 2-3 pages, that is synoptic notes, that is the revision notes, that is the notes which you are going to revise next every time. అంతేగాని మళ్ళీ ఎన్సీఆర్టీ తిప్పామనుకో ఎందుకమ్మా కదా. ఎన్సీఆర్టీ నుంచి వన్స్ యూ ప్రిపేర్డ్ యువర్ నోట్స్, ఎన్సీఆర్టీ స్క్రాప్. అట్లా ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి. చాలామంది న్యూస్ పేపర్లు అడిగారు కదా, న్యూస్ పేపర్ కటింగ్ చేస్తారు నీట్గా కదా. చేస్తారా? ఇప్పుడు చేయట్లేదు, మేము చేసేవాళ్ళం. ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఆ కటింగ్ ఇచ్చేస్తున్నారు డైరెక్ట్గా. ఆన్లైన్ కాపీస్ ఉంటాయి కదా మీకు. సో పీపుల్ దే యూస్ టు అండర్లైన్. అది కూడా లేకపోతే ముందైతే కట్ చేసేసి పెట్టేసుకుంటా. ఫైల్ ఇట్లా లెగుస్తూ ఉంటుంది ఫైల్. ఏం చేసుకోవాలి అదంతా? ఎప్పుడు చదువుతాం? యూస్ఫుల్ అది ఏమన్నా? స్క్రాప్. డోంట్ ఫైల్ ఇఫ్ యూ డోంట్ రీడ్ ఇట్. రీడ్ ఇట్, అండర్లైన్ ఇట్, file it, accepted. Read it, underline it, make a notes, accepted. Even if you don't file. Are you getting my point? Because when it is there in a notes, what's the point in filing it again? Not required. అంటే మీకు కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ ఉండదు అనమాట. నేను రాసుకున్నాను కరెక్ట్గా అన్నీ రాసుకున్నాను లేదా పాయింట్స్, నాకు తెలియని పాయింట్స్ ఏవో ఉన్నాయి అందులో కదా. ఉంటుంది కదా, స్టార్టింగ్లో ఉంటుంది అది, తర్వాత ఉండదు అనమాట. Initial days, yes, you will have that fear that you are missing something in that. Okay? Initial days lo you file it, it's okay. But later on you stop filing it. Somewhere you have to stop that kada. అంటే మీ మీద కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ తెచ్చుకోరు ఇంకా మీరు జీవితంలో. తెచ్చుకుంటే కదా ఏసేది కదా. సమ్వేర్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు గెట్ ఇట్ అనమాట. ఇఫ్ యూ డోంట్ గెట్ ఇట్ యువర్ కాన్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇంకోటి చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇస్తా బిఫోర్ కంక్లూడింగ్ దిస్. సపోజ్ మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, మీరు డైలీ యూ రీడ్ న్యూస్ పేపర్, అజ్యూమింగ్ దట్ వే. Okay, what we also provide to the students is we provide weekly magazine. What is this magazine? Weekly magazine, whatever the newspapers that important newspapers, of which we condense the most important articles and give it in a snapshot in a weekly magazine. Small books istadu. Information booklet లాంటిది ఇంకో బుక్ ఉంటుందమ్మా. ఓకే, అంత అదే సైజులో వస్తుంది. అన్ని నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ పేజెస్ ఉంటాయి, చిన్నది. అది కండెన్స్ చేసి ఇచ్చేస్తాం. మీరేం చేస్తారు, అబ్బా 1 week న్యూస్ పేపర్ చదవాలన్నా ఈ మ్యాగజైన్ చదివితే సరిపోతుంది కదా, అవునా? బెటర్ కదా. వై ఐ షుడ్ రీడ్ ఆల్ దీస్ న్యూస్ పేపర్స్ ఫర్ డైలీ 3-4 hours ఫర్ 1 week, అండ్ ఫైనల్లీ సిన్స్ ఐ హ్యావ్ దిస్ మ్యాగజైన్, వై ఐ షుడ్ వేస్ట్ మై టైమ్ ఆన్ న్యూస్ పేపర్? లెట్ మీ రీడ్ దిస్ మ్యాగజైన్ డైరెక్ట్లీ. తప్పేం లేదు అక్కడ కదా, బాగా అనిపిస్తుంది. ఇది కాదు కావాల్సింది ఎగ్జామ్కి. వాట్ యు రిక్వైర్ ఈజ్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు గ్రో టు ద లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ రైటింగ్ ఏ మ్యాగజైన్ లైక్ దిస్. మీరు ఆ లెవెల్కి రీచ్ అవ్వాలి. అంతేగాని మీరు డైరెక్ట్గా మ్యాగజైన్ చదివితే ఆ లెవెల్కి వస్తారు ఎప్పుడన్నా? ఆ రెడీమేడ్ మెటీరియల్ కదా. అంటే మీ ఆల్వేస్ లుక్ ఫర్ షార్ట్ కట్స్. ఇది ఓకే ఫైన్, షార్ట్ కట్, అది కూడా షార్ట్ కట్టే, కానీ అందులో కాంప్రహెండ్ ఎట్లా చేస్తారు? వై వీ ఆస్క్ యూ టు రీడ్ న్యూస్ పేపర్? బికాజ్ ఇఫ్ ఎన్ ఇష్యూ ఈస్ హ్యాపనింగ్ 5 days, 10 days, 20 days, సపోజ్ ఉక్రెయిన్ రష్యా వార్ జరుగుతుంది. ఉక్రెయిన్ రష్యా వారు ఈరోజు ఏం జరిగింది మొత్తంగా సినాప్సిస్ చదవటం ఒకటైతే ఏమర్థమైంది నీకు? సినాప్సిస్ 4 lines చెప్పొచ్చు దాన్ని, అంతకన్నా ఎక్కువ ఉండదు అక్కడ. ఓకే, బట్ వాట్ ఈస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ యూ ఈజ్ యూ ట్రాక్ ది ఎంటైర్ ఇష్యూ. What are the developments that are happening? That tells you what are geopolitical constraints that each of them have, and then what kind of implications that crisis is going to have on the entire world economy, or in particular to specific to India. అవన్నీ తెలుస్తూ ఉంటాయి మీకు. ఆ డైలీ బేసిస్ చేస్తూ ఉంటే తెలుస్తుంది. అంతే కదా. లేదు అంటే ఒక మంచి క్లాస్లో కూర్చోబెట్టి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయాలి మేము, అప్పుడు కూడా తెలుస్తుంది. రైట్? See, you have to grow up to that level, not that you just read them and then you got everything. అలాంటి వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు కొంతమంది. ఐఎమ్ టెలింగ్ దట్ వెరీ Rarely we find, you read everything, you understand everything, you got in your mind everything. Very rarely we find those kind of people. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about my kind of people who are a common man kind of. Who has to crack this exam? How to crack that? Understood? Okay? Any more questions? Okay, na? Fine then, catch you guys later, and then if you have any specific questions, you can always ask me. Okay? Maybe after the session as well. Okay? Chalo. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.